Good morning, everybody, man. Welcome to J Trades TV, where we discuss all stock related contents and much more. Hope everybody's having a great and blessed morning. Um, so far, I will be here till 12 o'clock because I will be going visit my grandparents today, and then knowing today's gonna probably be a little bit slow because everybody's gonna be getting prepared for the market tomorrow for the FOMC meeting. So let me go ahead and dive right into the chart pattern. So we're gonna go ahead and get that started right away. So let's go. All right, team, we are here. So let's go ahead and break down a few things while we at it today. What do we have as far as the economics data? We don't really have anything major today. Pretty much, we do have we already had the housing starts permit that was already at 8:30. But everybody's going to be looking forward tomorrow, which you already know is going to be the FOMC meetings where they discuss the rate hikes and much more. 2 o'clock, and then Jerome Powell speaks at 2:30. So I think a lot more volatility is going to be moving in tomorrow, and then tomorrow, Thursday, all the way to Friday. So I think today is going to pretty much be kind of like a little channel like day where we do have some movements on up. So I think it's gonna be a bit of up and down, and like I said, a lot of bit of channeling for the moment until tomorrow hits. As far as the earning data, did I take it off? The earnings data. Soccer King, good morning to you, boss. J24, good morning to you. Let me I forgot to put my thing back up. I got y'all, boss. Good morning to you. I do see you, boss. Soccer King.
J24 says,
I see you. I see you.
Morning Soccer King.
And also, as far as like I said, the earnings, not really anything major at this moment. We're not gonna have anything major as far as, like I said, I always look for my main blue chip companies. Morning to you, Queen. Good morning to you. Blessed morning to see y'all. Great to see another day. More shout out to you, Marty, as well. Shout out to you, boss. We don't have anything major at this moment as far as the earnings. Still a lot of retail companies and whatnot. And as I mentioned before, we're gonna have our main blue chip companies coming up between the April and May. I do have mine. Let me go to it real quick. I can show y'all real
Soccer
quick.
King says, what's up J24?
No much, Soccer King. Shout out to you, boss. Blessed to see another day. As you can see right here, real quick, the next earnings that's going to be coming up as far as Microsoft, that'll be in April. Meta, that'll be April. Amazon, that'll be April. As far as Nvidia, that'll be May. Apple, that'll be May, and Tesla, that'll be April. So pretty much all our blue chip companies will be in April and May. So it's not really nothing to really be, I'm not gonna really be anticipating a lot of the earnings so far. As far as the SPY, J24, I know you was asking me about that. Who else coming through here? Nuno, shout out to you, boss. I see you, man. Good morning to you, boss. As far as SPY, like I said, that I did mention before in Dex lobby, as long as you hold this 510 level, we can move up to 512, and we can so pretty much we'll be channeling around this little area. So it's gonna be channeling around this little area between the 512s, 510s, and as Deck was mentioning before, we could see a move back up to 514, but I don't think we're gonna go as high as 514 today. We are on this downtrend setup, as you can see. Every time you hit, you fall, you hit, you fall. And the next area is a little bit above, kind of like in the 513-ish area, probably in this area. But I don't see a lot of volatility pushing that back up that high at this moment until the data comes out tomorrow. So I do see a movement between the 512 range to the 510 range. I do see that as far as today. I do see the 512 to the 510s kind of being this little channel. So right now we are at the tops around the 512. And as you can see, we do have that 50 right above our heads. So I do see a move going up as high as about 513-ish. I mean, again, we may get a pop to 514, but I'm not really anticipating it today due to the fact that we're going to have a lot of...
Botrix has correctly joined the channel.
Turn it off. Keep forgetting about that. Delete that comment, take that off, and delete and block. Keep forgetting about that. Apologize about that. But yeah, but I do see, like I said, as you can see right here, when you're on top of 512, you bounce, you bounce, you bounce. But the way that the market has been going, we've been pretty much trending down, I guess, pretty much until the, like I said, yes, I know, until the FOMC meeting. So we're not going to get a lot of volatility. And due to the fact is, I know a lot of people are sitting in anticipation. And I do see you, champ. Good morning to you, boss. I do see you. Due to the fact that tomorrow's going to be the anticipated day of the FOMC meeting in Jerome Powell. So I don't think a lot of movement is going to happen today. I think we're going to see a lot of more channeling in between the 512 to the 510 range. As I was stating before, at this moment, that will be your pivot point for today because 512, you hold 512, you can possibly move up to 514. You stay below 512, you'll move down to 510. You crack 510, we can see 508 where you do get this bounce at in this, in this little area. We have a lot of support around that 508 area. So I do see 512 to 510 at this moment. So I think we're going to see a lot of channeling today due to the fact this, again, everybody's going to be sitting and waiting for tomorrow's data coming out as far as the updates on the right of hate. Jesus, can't speak right now. The rate hikes. But like I said, I don't think it's gonna be a lot of movement, which is why I'm gonna be here only throughout half of the day because I don't think it's gonna be a lot of trading after 12 o'clock, as Deck mentioned, and plus I'm going to visit my grandparents and them, to spend some time with them as well. And like I said, I will be gearing up for tomorrow in anticipation to see exactly the direction that the market will move. Again, everything is, if you look at the 180 chart, everything is still bouncing on the uptrend. So, I mean, it does look like this area is still holding from that 510-ish area on down right here where you see this bounce. I do see 510 holding. If we can hold that 510 until tomorrow, I can definitely see the buys moving in and basically going back on up towards the 512, the 514 on almost like this ascending triangle pattern. Basically, depends on what they say on the as far as the rate hikes and whatnot. But could we see downside? We could. We could definitely see downside. We wound up cracking this uptrend and going back underneath 510, kind of like the position that we did see on SMCI. So if we go to SMCI, you can definitely see that situation because I knew a cup, and you remember I talked about it yesterday, a cup and handle pattern. That's why I got out of my call because I was about to go in for a call, but then when I actually seen that cup and handle pattern set up, I got out. And you remember I told you about that lightning bolt situation that kind of was like an H pattern. That's basically leading to more downside. You remember I told y'all we could see 900, and look where we at. 890. So that was a good thing that I did pay attention to my pattern setups because if you go back here, you can clearly see that we were on a cup and handle pattern that I did mention yesterday. I said we are on this cup and handle pattern here where we hit, we had this arc and then that was the handle and then you had that move on down. Now, once you got that long red candle, what normally leads to the red candle? An H pattern. So normally when you get a nice little sell-off, a huge red candle, you'll follow with an H pattern that'll lead to a next leg on down. And I did mention it was going to come down to 900, and therefore we hit 900. So again, and you can see right here, and another reason why I was leaning towards the sell side afterwards was when we crack that main trend line that we normally bounce on SMCI, as you can see right here. That's what made me shift my thought process to, okay, it's going down. There's no point of going for a buy, which is why I got out of my position. Because you remember Deck was going for a put and I was going for a call yesterday. And again, what drew my suspicion was like every time you're on this trend line on SMCI, you bounce. But when I started to see this crack, I was like, this kind of looks like an H pattern, like a lightning bolt shape pattern, which is why my first instinct said, we cracking that trend line. It's not safe. Get out, because that trend line could be turned into a resistance line where we could be actually coming down. And the offering came out. And that's when I seen this setup, and I jumped out. I was like, nah. I went with my first instincts. Told me to don't go for calls. Get the hell out. That trend line is not holding. We're underneath the trend line, which is now resistance. I do see a long red candle that can lead to an H-like pattern that can lead to the next leg on down. So you can look at it like an H pattern or a lightning bolt, kind of like this type of formation here. So you can look at it in two separate ways, which still both leads to a downside. So you can see it, you can whether you want to look at it like a lightning bolt, like this, or if you want to see it from an H pattern. I mean, it both leads to the same situation where you go on an H pattern and you go on down. So when I seen that, I went with my instincts. I said, nope, let me get out, and I did. I got out of my call. I did not take that order, and that's a good thing I did, because as you can see, and then that offering came out. We went to a further drop on down. We cracked that trend line. Now we're underneath the trend line, which is now resistance, and we could possibly, like I said, go all the way back down to 800. So therefore, I went with my instincts. I trust my instincts, and then went with that. SPY, on the other hand, is a different situation where, we could hold these key areas and actually start to go back on up as long as you hold that trend line. You hold that trend line, we could possibly start to move back on up. So that's a different, a different setup as far as your SMCI. Let me see. Let me go back to my chat real quick. AR Trades, good morning to you, boss. I see, champ. Indeed, yeah, definitely, man. And that's why I didn't want to really take a risk today. I do think we're gonna see some puts. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I definitely see some more downside coming, champ. Even though we're getting this pop back up, you're getting to pop right back into resistance. Because if you notice, when you was above 512, right, you would bounce, you would bounce. Right now, that support has turned into resistance. So that's why I think that we may see a lot of channeling around that 512 range. I do think that we may go up and down around it. But at the end of the day, I think we may get a nice little sell-off back on down this way, like in a downtrend fashion. So again, when you're above 512, you can see right here, 512, you bounce on top. And then when you're underneath, that is considered resistance. And again, you're on a downtrend position. So I do see that we could get a little push, but I don't think that 512 is going to hold. I do think that in due time, 512 will start to shift when we start to come back down towards 510 to probably 508. So yeah, but I definitely see that setup. You said 1 minute, boss. Let me take a look. 1 minute in time. I'm sorry. Appreciate you, Marty. I thought you were talking about the time. But yeah, we do have 1 minute to the market opens, team. But right now, I mean, I would have went in for a call if we would have caught this in intraday, off the bounce. I would have went in for a call. But now that we already got the bounce now on up, the only thing I can look at now is a possible put position, where we are coming up towards these tough areas that might not hold. And then again, you have that 50 right above your head, and that's around that 513 range. So I am looking at that to see on how it's going to hold up. But if we do start to crack back underneath 512, we can come back down to 510. And if we don't hold 510, we can come back down to 508. But I do see a channel 510 to 512 to 510. So I do see that at the moment, boss. Yeah, I will check it out. The bell is about to ring in about 5 seconds. As soon as the bell rings, boss, I will give it a look at AMD. Let's see. Keep it on watch. Bell ringing right now. All right, game time. So let me hurry up and look at AMD real quick. AMD. Everything is downtrending at the moment, boss. I mean, you can look at it. Look at this. Look at it on my 180 chart. I mean, everything is just still in a downtrend, boss. See that? Everything is literally downtrending. Look at this. You just fell from the tops all the way on down to the support line. That's going to be around that 180-ish mark. Let me expand it out just a little bit further. So let's see how it handles up around the 180, champ. Keep an eye on that. If you crack 180, we could go to a lower level. So definitely keep that on watch. Let me expand that to the right. Boom. And as you can see, we are cracking that trend line. We cracked that trend line. And now becomes resistance where we start to get a further pullback on down. So definitely keep that on watch. The market right now, I mean, you could look at the market on this ladder, champ, that everything is in the red. So everything still looks weak. And again, I can see due to, you already know with NVIDIA, you had the offering, everything that came out on that, everything's showing downside. Again, I still think that we're going to start to pull back. We're going to channel like around that 512 mark. I don't think we're going to hold it for long. I think that, we're going to start to definitely see some downside as far as 512, which we're starting to see it right now. So I do think that we will start to see some downside back down to that 510 level. I don't think 512 is going to hold. I do think that it will channel around 512. Around that area, you might see some little bit of up, a little bit of down, a little bit of up, a little bit of down. But I think the end result is that we're going to start to actually pull back down. And again, you can see it right now. It's happening right back down to 510. So I can definitely see that coming up. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of weakness, especially before the FOMC meeting. So I think it's going to be a lot more pullback before the FOMC meeting. FOMC meeting. I don't know. My mouth is dry. I can't talk right now. I apologize. But yeah. So definitely seeing some downside. Interesting. Yeah, because normally Tesla and them, and it's funny, because normally when everything goes down, for some reason Tesla goes up. It normally does that. It does every once in a while. Like, it'll start to do the opposite of what everything else is doing. It does that. But right now, like I said, I do think we're going to see a lot of channeling around that 512 mark. So I am keeping my eyes peeled on that 512 range. But again, I don't think it's going to hold for long. I think we may come back down 512 for movement back on down to that 510 for the day. And that's just only because of the weakness in the market. So I don't think we're going to really be pushing as high towards these areas like we expect. And I do think, again, it's going to be a lot of channeling around this 512 mark where we can see some downside coming in soon. And we do have that 50 right above our heads. You can see that. right around that 513-ish mark, 513, 512.50, somewhere around this area. So I'm going to keep that on watch. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm gonna stay here to 12, because again, I think the volume is, like Deck mentioned before, will start to die down around 12, and afterwards, because again, everybody's gonna be sitting in anticipation for tomorrow's FOMC meeting about the rate hikes and whatnot. So I do think we're gonna get a little bit more downside before the rate hikes come up, because again, and again, you already know how SPY and them normally does. What do they normally do before a big event comes out? They normally get as low as possible, try to create some type of bear trap. You know how this goes. We go through this over and over and over and over again, team, where whether it's a PCE data, CPI data, big earnings or something, like a day before, or like either a few days in advance or the day before, you'll normally get a nice little pullback where it's almost setting up like a bear trap where it gets in as low as possible, and then it rips right back on up. So I'm definitely keeping it on watch for that possible setup that they could be setting up for today, where you could come all the way back on down towards that 510 range, as you can see right here. Because every time a big event comes out, you get this nice little pullback where they trap those bears and you go right back on up. You can see this time and time and time again. As you can see, that happened recently where it came on down, trapped the bears, ripped right back on up. And we do have room to fall back down to that 510 range. So that's why I'm keeping my eyes peeled to see if they're going to do some type of pullback where they're going to create some type of trap. As long as that trend line holds, that could be a possible setup for a bull trap. As long as we hold this area, we could see a nice move back on up where you go from like a red to green, almost like a W pattern, a W formation, where we pretty much do this when we can. Let me show you real quick. Kind of like this. When you kind of go like in a W pattern, like here, and you wind up bouncing off that 510, and you move right back on up. And it all depends on what comes out on the FOMC meeting, because that'll add more hype to that for a nice pushback on up. Because if everything goes according to plan, you'll continue the uptrend and also the ascending triangle setup. If you notice the ascending triangle setups between the 512s, 514s, 516 and above. Again, if everything goes the way that it should on the FOMC meeting, and they they trap these bears around that 510 mark, move right back on up. You can go from a red to green real quick, right back on up towards those highs. So definitely keep that on watch. But is it a possibility that we could crack and come down? It is a possibility. It also is a possibility you crack 510 and then come back down to 508 and even lower. That is a possibility too. But what normally happens on SPY is they set up traps every single time we hit that green line, because the green line hasn't failed yet. We haven't cracked that green line just yet. So every time we hit the green line, we go back on up. We hit the green line, we go back on up. We hit the green line, we come back on up. So I can see a possible setup. If that green line holds, that 510 holds, I can see a possible setup for tomorrow, trapping those bears right in this area for a move right back on up. So 510 will be crucial, because it's going to either lead to a nice bounce back on up, or it's going to lead to a nice crack on down. So again, if we lose this 510 area and we also lose this trend line, we can definitely see some movements back on down to the downside. However, if we do hold this area 510 and we hold this trend line, we can definitely see a move back on up to the upside. So 510 will be a crucial area. Definitely will be a crucial area. What do you say about? Tesla downside, looking for puts on Tesla. 170. Yeah, I do. That's my level. Champ says 170 is my level, 150. Then y'all talking about Tesla, right? Tesla. What did I have it at? Oh yeah, cause we didn't break that 175 mark, so we are coming back down to 175. Yeah. Cause you remember what I told y'all. If you look at Tesla from a channel standpoint, if you look at it from a $20 range, remember how I broke it down to y'all yesterday, that 180 is your tops, 170 is your mid, and 160 is your bottom. And you remember how I told y'all how that goes. If you stay above 170, you have the possibility to move back on up to 175 to 180. If you stay underneath 170, then you have the possibility to move back on down to the 160s. So again, if we look at it from a channel standpoint, let me put that in red real quick. Let me put it in red. So 180 will be your tops as of now. Right? That'll be your tops. 180 would be your mid area. We'll change that to 180. 170. Put that in yellow, because that'll be your pivot point so far. and then 160 would be your bottom. So you can see right here, you bounced off of 160, but you got rejected at 180. So you're kind of doing a channel. You're doing a pretty much, okay, champ, y'all pretty much doing a price rotation. It's rotating from the 180s to the 160s, 180s to the 160, 180s to the 160s. It's pretty much doing a rotation. It's rotating up and down, up and down, up and down. So right now you're all holding above 170. As long as 170 hold, you can find some possible support for a move back on up. Break 175 up to 180. If you crack 170, then you'll start to move back down towards the 165 to the 160s. So definitely keep that on watch. Watch your pivot point around this 170 level. As long as we on top, that works in the bull's favor when you move back on up. However, if you crack 170, then they'll work in the bear's favor when you start to go back on down, because 170 will be considered resistance, because now you're underneath it. As long as you're on top of it, that's considered support. As long as when you're underneath it, that's considered resistance. So right now, we are still on top, even though we're getting this little pullback. Watch how it reacts around this 170 range. If we hold, that can it can remain support and move back on up. If we crack 170, it can turn into resistance when we come back on down. So again, focus on your pivot point, because your pivot point can either lead to an upside towards the 180, or your pivot point can lead to a downside back down towards the 160. So you are in the $20 range from the 180s to the 160 on Tesla, and it is rotating from 180, 160, 160, 180, 180, 160. Is rotating up and down. So definitely just keep your eyes peeled until we either break 180 or we crack 160 to another lower level. So definitely keep your eyes peeled on that. AMD, as far as AMD right now, 180, I mean, we're definitely on a downtrend. I mean, you can clearly see this. Look at all these red candles versus your green candles. I mean, you definitely can see, even on a 180 chart, that your sellers are in control. You definitely can see that. Look at this. You got, what, about three green candles out of all these reds from this, after this, what, 227 rejection all the way on down to 210. As you can see, it's red, 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 red. The buyers have not moved in yet, so we're definitely getting some downside still coming in as far as AMD. Let's see where we can find some support at that. What buyers did move in at. I do see buyers moving in around this 175 level. When you came down to 175, you bounced, had a nice move back on up. I do see this area right here of support, where it came down and had a nice bounce, and then you have another bounce all the way down around 160. So I do see this area here and this area here, but that's way back on down. Let's see. Okay, put it like this, team. So as far as AMD, this is the game plan right now. So as far as AMD, you're gonna have a possible area of bouncing around that 180-ish level, because you can see right here, 180, you get rejected, you come on down, rejected, come on down. So that's considered resistance when you're underneath 180. When you're on top of 180, that can be considered support as long as you stay on top. So definitely keep that on watch, that we're around this key area. So keep that on watch around this 180 range. So I'm gonna put it in green right now as long as we stay on top of it. So I will mark that in green. As far as 180, let me round my numbers off real quick. So 180, 180, 180, 180, 180, 180. Keep that on watch. So as you can see right here, we bounced on that trend line, ran on up. We are around that trend line and around that 180 mark. Keep that on watch. As long as you stay on top of 180, you could. Again, we could find a possible support where buyers can move in and push it back on up. We crack 180, that's going to turn back into resistance, where we go back into the past where you hit, fall, hit, fall, hit, fall. You can see that clearly. 180 will be either support or resistance. So that is considered your pivot point at this moment. So you can see right here, every time you get away from 180, you return back to 180. You get away from 180, return back to 180. You get away from 180, return back to 180. So we know right now that definitely is a pivot point. So 180 is definitely pivot. So 180, let's see, let's take a look. So your pivot point from where? 160. So that can be a pivot point. That can move by 20s as well. So we set up a duplicate and put 160. That could be your bottom area, 160. If we look at it from a channel standpoint, so 160, you can see that. So therefore, 180 would be your pivot point. That'll be yellow. So above it, if we move $20 up, 200 would be somewhere around that area. So let me move that up here, back to the top of one. So let's put 200, because we're going to go by 20s. We're going to go by 20s. We're going to put that as a resistance mark, 200. Because if we go by 20s, all right, do this. Boom. So we can definitely see, you can see it from a bigger range. So the minute you got rejected, you came back underneath this 200 range. It came on down. Now you're going right back into this pivot point of 180. So yeah. So right now you'll be in a pivot. You'll be in this little area. So we're going to see how if those buyers can move in around 180 and try to hold this support line, hold this as support and try to move it back, hold that 180 mark and try to move it back on up. Again, if you do crack 180, you do have a possibility to move right back on down. As you can see here, you hit 180, you come right down towards that 160, then you move right back up to 180 where you kind of rotate from 180 to 160 around this key area here. But right now we on top, which could start to rotate this way as long as you stay on top. But definitely gonna keep this on watch around this 180 frame here. So definitely keep this on watch, team. If you're going in for AMD, you got room to fall right back down to this 180 mark. That can either hold up as support or resistance. So definitely keep this on watch at 180 level to see how it's gonna react. Will the buyers try to move in around this 180 level and hold 180, keep above 180, or will we crack 180 and actually start to come back on down? So definitely keep that on watch. But we are still on a downtrend. So that could, and again, if it don't hold, we can possibly see a descending squeeze down from 180. So if you notice, look at that downtrend setup on my 180 chart. You see that? You hit, you fall. You hit, you fall. You hit, you fall. You can definitely see a descending setup, possible descending squeeze if 180 can't hold for a possible move right back on down. So definitely keep that on watch. 180 as far as AMD will be crucial, team. So 180, again, you crack 180, we can see a squeeze to a further movement on down. So definitely keep that on watch as far as AMD. All right, so we done figured that out. So let's see how we doing as far as SPY. What's SPY doing? All right. Yeah, no problem, Nuno. Yeah. But yeah, 180 is definitely gonna be crucial. And as you can see, we did get rejected around at 112. 112. Here we go again. 112 is getting rejected once again. Wait, where's my other chart at? Did I change my chart? Oh shoot, I think I did. All right. Go back. So as I was mentioning, we're gonna probably see a lot of more downside, and you can see right here, we're getting a lot more downside. You got rejected at that 112 area. We are starting to trend right back on down. So the 512 will be a resistance level. Because I told you, if you look at it from a channel standpoint, 512, 510, you're gonna have a support area around 510, but you're gonna have resistance around 512. That's why as far as today, I think we will channel up and down, up and down. It's gonna channel, to me, it's gonna channel around that 512 area, but I don't think 512 is gonna hold. I do think that we could see some more downside towards 510 and possibly 508. So I do think that 512 would hold up a strong resistance, but that is also your pivot point where you will go up and down around that pivot point until you lose it and show more weakness back on down. So I do think 512 is gonna be your main pivot point and your main focus as far as the tops. 510 is going to be your main focus as far as the support. So you will be channeling between 512 to 510 as of now. So definitely keep that on watch from 512 to 510. So definitely keep that on watch. Let me see. Dropped $2 after I alerted it. Still room to fall. Yeah. AMD. Yeah. You still have room to fall, boss. Like I said, you cracked that 180. You definitely got room to fall back on down towards that 160 level. Now, I mean, you're not going to fall straight down to it. I mean, of course, you're going to hit some little bumps in a row. You're going to try to have some little, where your buyer's going to try to move in, where you're going to find some little bounces. But I think the overall target will be 160 if we once that 180 cracks. As far as Tesla broke 170 on the downside. We have room. Yep, because you remember.
Gang rate says MSTR.
You in that MSTR. It must be still spiking, ain't it? For you to be, you still calling that one. Is it still spiking or is it dropping? Oh, no, it's dropping now. Let me see, it gapped down. It gapped down. Oh, yeah, that bad boy definitely let gap down. And then we fell underneath the 13 EMA. Oh, yeah, buddy. Yeah, I definitely see that. You got room to fall back down to that damn near to that $1,000 mark. If that 1,200 don't hold, you got room to fall right back on down towards these low levels. Way all the way back down here. Yeah, so everything falling. I mean, if you think about it, y'all, everything is pretty much pulling back today. It's just a pullback moment right now. Everything is just pulling back. I mean, even SPY. Look at SPY. Like I said, I don't think 512 is going to hold. I mean, yeah, we're going to run up to it. You're going to see a little bit up and down around 512. But I do think that 512 is not going to hold. You still have that 50-day moving average right above your head, which is holding up as resistance, right along with the downtrend, which I don't think this area is going to hold. I think we're going to get a pop. Then I'll move back down to that 512, where we can see some further downside to that 510. 510 cracks. We'll be going back down to 508. So I do think that we could possibly see some movements in that situation. So I definitely see a lot more downside than upside at this moment. Because as you can see right here, we when we cracked 512, when this was, what today is? Tuesday, Monday, Friday. So we cracked that 512 area Friday. You can see we lost 512, down to 510, down to 508. So as you can see right here, where your buyers are moving at, where you have some demand at. So we could see a possible move back down towards the area 508, 508.50, where they can hold as support. Hold this as a nice demand area till tomorrow. And again, if you hold that area, come right back on up, we could definitely see a W-shaped pattern on this chart when you go from like red to green. When you go from here, like a W, as long as that uptrend holds, 510 holds, I can definitely see that when we can move back on up. So I'm going to just definitely keep that on watch. But right now, I definitely see more downside than upside at this moment. So I can definitely see another pullback coming in, once we hit that 512 range again. It's going to, like I said, it's going to, due to the fact this 512 is your pivot point, I definitely see a lot of up and down around it like a magnet. It's going to move around it until those bears come in and actually pull it. So I definitely think that 512 will lose its momentum soon. So definitely keep that on watch. Go back to here. What I got it on 30.15. Right, 512. We already seen got rejected already. As you can see, that was your top. So we do run back on up. Now you're underneath 512. We can go up and get rejected again and see a further move back on down. So definitely be anticipating that possible move. Running up to 512, get rejected, and pull right back on down. So definitely keep that on watch down to this 510 range. Tesla, let me see if break of Tesla 68 could drop. Yeah. Because like I said, boss, if you look at it from a $20 standpoint, your bottoms are 560, mid areas are 570, and the tops are 580. You lose 570, then you're coming right back down into the ranges of 560s. So 569, 568, 567 on down to possibly 560. Excuse me. So yeah, definitely keep that on watch. But as you notice, the only thing that's holding, the only thing that is in green is Amazon and Apple. Everything else is in red. I mean, you can clearly see that. NASDAQ, Google, Meta, Tesla, Nvidia, SON, AMD, SMCI. I mean, definitely, like I said, as far as SMCI, I can definitely see a possible move back down to that 800 range. I can definitely see that, once, because we already underneath 900. So that's going to hold up as resistance. So I can definitely see a possible pull back on down, all the way back down to the 800 range. And that's, if you go back, we had a bounce in that area a while back. Go back. Around. Yep, right here we came down to 800 and you bounced. So I do see it coming down to 800, right back down to that level, which we are, where we at right now? Go back over a little bit more. Yep, right here. So now 900 is resistance because we're underneath 900, and I do see a possible pull back down to 800 in due time. So I do see that coming up. Definitely see that. Microsoft. Oh, I could have sworn I had Microsoft on here. Let me put it back on there. Could have sworn I had it on there. Oh, no, I do. Got it back on there. All right, let's see. As far as Microsoft, let's see. 425, definitely. You need to re-break 425 for the run up to 530, because that's moving in 5, so I can see that already. So you can see that 525, 530. So Microsoft is moving by 5s. So the main area that you need to break is 420 for the run up to 425. 425 holds, we can go up to 530. That'll put you back in the channel of 420 to 430. So we can get back, and like I said, we can get back above 420. That'll put you in the channel of 420 to 430. So you'll be like in this channel here. I'll set up some lines just to show you what I'm talking about. Let me take these off because I don't need these anymore. Take these off here, and here. Okay, boom, 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 boom. So again, if we can get back up into that 420 range, that'll put you here, and back up to possibly back. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. Oh, that's why it disappeared on me. I knew something was off. I was like, man, what the hell? 425. So 425 to 430. Boom. That'll put you back in that channel. 430. We put that. We can get back in that channel. So that'll be your tops. That'll be your mid. That'll be your bottoms here. We can get cross back over to 420. That'll definitely put you back in that range. If we can get that. So that'll put you back in this channel of 420 to 430. So that'll be your, once we crack, we get back above 420, that'll turn into support. Then that'll be your mid, your pivot point on up to 430. So right now, you have to look at it from the bottom standpoint, from 420, 415, or 410. So you have to look at it from that standpoint. So let's go ahead and make a duplicate copy of that at the moment. So 420, let me put 410-ish. Yep, right around that area. And 415 will be the mid area of that. So 415, because it's going by fives. All right, cool. So right now we are holding above 415. You can run up to 420. Got to hold that 420 level, so I can definitely see that. So right now, 420 be resistance at the moment until you break it. I can definitely see that. Back down to the mid area of 415 here. And for the bottoms of 410, that'll be in that channel until we break 420 and put us back in that range. So right now, as you can see, yep, your top's 420. You need to break 420, hold 420, then you move up to 425. And if you can break 425, you gotta run up to 430. So right now, 420 is definitely gonna be resistance. Because what you want to avoid, if you are going for a call, you want to break 420 and move on up. But what you want to avoid is you want to avoid a potential downtrend setup from this point here when you start to go back down this way. That's what you want to avoid. Because you want to avoid a downtrend setup that could possibly happen if it does lose momentum when you start to kind of shift this way, back on down. When you start to come back down towards that 410. So keep that on watch. So 420, definitely, you want to definitely see a break of this 420 range. Because if not, we can definitely start downtrending back this way. Because 420 will be resistance all over again. Right, so let's go back. We're looking like on SPY. All right, SPY still need that 412 mark. Again, still looking like a downtrend, still forming, still coming down. 412 is still resistance. As you can see, you hit, you fall, you hit, you fall, resistance, 512 for the possible move back on down to 510. So definitely keep that on watch, because remember, as I told y'all, we might channel around that area because 512 is going to be your pivot point. So at this moment, we could channel around it until it loses momentum and we actually start to shift right back on down. So definitely keep that on watch. So we are losing a little bit of momentum now from that 512 area because we're already at 511. So we're slowly starting to come back down towards this way. But we have lost 512 because resistance came in, bears came in. They holding this area. They are guarding 512 right now, and we're starting to get a little weaker. As you can see, here we go, starting to get weaker. So 5 back down to 5, lower 511s. So we lose 511, we can definitely come back down to 510. So definitely keep that on watch. I'm trying to see if I see any patterns setting up. I don't see an H pattern setting up. I don't think yet. I mean, you can go off of this. I mean, you can look at it from this standpoint. When you have this hump here, and for the next hump on down, I mean, right here, this 512, when you come back on down again. I mean, you can look at it from this standpoint too, from this downtrend standpoint. So 512 is definitely resistance, because anytime you're above it, it hold up as support, as you can see. Anytime you're underneath it, it can hold up as resistance, as you can see, for a possible move back on down. So definitely keep that on watch around this 512 level, which they are trying to. Because like as I mentioned, we're going to probably channel around 512. We're going to probably channel around that area up, down, up, down. So you're going to see a lot of 51150s, 512s, possibly 513s. I'm sorry, 51250. So we're going to definitely see a lot of channeling around this area, up and down. That's all you're going to see right now, up and down. See how it's going back on up? Because it's going back towards that pivot range, which is 512. So it's going to be a lot of up and down around 512. But I do think that 512 will lose momentum in due time. I do think that we will lose momentum in due time. When we start to fall from 512, 511 down to 510s, and then we do crack 510s, possibly 508. But definitely we in this channel, 512, 510. 512 being a resistance line at this moment, your pivot point. So we're underneath 512, consider resistance at the moment. Bears are guarding this area, so it's going to be a nice little fight up and down 512. You're going to see a lot of 512 doing this. As you can see right now, you're seeing it at this moment happening. Even on the 15-minute, you can see up and down around 512, around that pivot point. So you're definitely going to start seeing a lot of that. Now, can I find a good pattern? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I do see somewhat of an M-shaped pattern. Starting from pre-market, I do see it like somewhat of an M-shaped setup where you can do this, do that, and then come back down this way. I mean, I do see a potential M pattern setting up. Especially if we stay underneath 512. I can definitely see an M pattern forming. I don't see an H pattern just yet. I mean, I see somewhat like this, but it's kind of high. I see more of an M than an H. I see an M pattern, like right where that 512 area is for that second point, where you see more of a lower high going back down this way. I do see that forming slowly, somewhat of an M-shaped pattern. I do see that. I'm gonna keep it on watch to see on how this 512 is gonna react, because we are trying to push back to 512. Because I was gonna go for a call this morning, but the bounce already happened around pre-market around the 510 area, because that was my goal, was to go in for 510 for the move back up on the 512. But I hate the fact is when you have options and you can't get into the best areas, because all your best moves always happen in between after hours and pre-market. And I hate that, man. I hate that setup. I hate when it does that, when I can't get the best moves I want possible. When right here was a good move for a move back on up to 512, because 510, 510.50, just like that 508, 508.50. I wanted that area for a call, but that happened in pre-market and I couldn't get in on the option, so that messed me up. So I hate that. I hate the fact that you can't trade in pre-market on options, because all your best moves always happen, like as I mentioned before, options. After hours in pre-market. I hate that. It's making a U shape from the open. 5 minutes don't look like an upper shadow. Yeah, that's why I'm watching carefully, boss. That's why I said I'm keeping my eyes on that 512 mark. That's why I said I'm watching it carefully, because as I mentioned, you hold that 510. You hold that 510 as I showed you on the 180 chart. Oh, take that off. Sorry about that. Yeah, you hold that 510 area. You do have room to run on up. That's why I mentioned a W type pattern. That's why I said if you do hold that 510 level and you hold that uptrend, we could see a W pattern when you actually start to go back on up. So that's why I'm watching both. I'm watching both setups at the moment. Because you can make a W pattern when you can go back on up. You definitely can do that. And I did mention that earlier, that's possible. That is a possibility. I just didn't know how the volatility was going to handle the day before the FOMC meeting comes out, because normally what SPY does is do a pullback and sets itself up for a bear trap for for a slingshot back on up. So that's why I was thinking, like, okay, we may hit 512, but I want to see exactly where they're going to try to set up a bear trap as we do go into the FOMC meeting for tomorrow, because I do think they're going to try to go in for a lower hit, as far as the setup. So I do think, like I said, around 510, because that's right where that uptrend is holding. You got that uptrend in that 510 area where they can pull it back down, trap those bears, hold that area, and start to move it back on up. So that's why I'm just keeping on watch. So I was looking at this area to see if it hasn't happened yet, where they trap the bears here at around 510 and start to push it back on up. So that's why I was keeping my eyes peeled on this level. Because this is what I wanted, as far as my calls. I wanted to pull back down where they was going to trap the bears, which they already did it in pre-market. They pulled down around that 510 level, 510, 510.50, almost like they did last time for Friday, when I called out Friday, 508, 508.50, where they trapped the bears and we ran back on up. So that's what I was thinking about the 510 level. So it's like moving up. You're going from 508, 510s, the next is 512. So if you notice, Friday, we came down to 508.50 that I called out. They trapped the bears, and we went on a move back on up. So if you look up, it's moving up like a higher low build when you go from 508 to 510s. So as you can see right here, 510, and then the next movement is going to be 512, when they just slowly building staircases back on up. But this is what I wanted, but that happened in pre-market. I didn't get it. Could we get another pullback down? We could. Especially if you get a pullback failure back down towards that 510 range, 510.50 range, where your buyers can trap the bears once again, hold this level for like a double bottom. I can see that too. So that's why I'm anticipating that we do come back on down, get rejected, come back down towards that 510.50 range, where you already bottom out here, where those buyers can possibly try to move back in and trap those bears for a double bottom and push back on up. So right now, we are already at the tops. I'm not going in for a call because this is an area that can be considered resistance. I'm not buying into this area until it can prove to me that it can hold. As of now, this is resistance. This can get rejected 510, 512, and then come right back on down. So I'm not buying into that. I'm not doing it until it can prove to me that it can break above 512, hold 512, and move back on up. But right now it's underneath it. I'm not buying it. And you have that 50 right above your head. So that's another no-go for me. Not doing that. So, yep. So no trades for me yet, boss. Nah, no trades yet. Because, I mean, you still got some overhead. You got the open, you have the 512, and then you have the 50. That can definitely lead for some more downside. And I wouldn't mind that. If I was going to go for a call, I want to pull back down towards the area I know where buyers can probably, move back in, which would be around the 510.50 to 510. So I wouldn't buy a call here. I'd rather buy a call back on down. I mean, I'll go for a put here, for a move back on down. But I'm not going in for a call until, again, it can prove to me that it can break above 512, hold 512, and so forth. But underneath it, I'm not doing it. Because look at the rotation. You see the 512 rotation? Anytime you're above it, you bounce, 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 bounce. Anytime you're underneath it, you can rotate and come right back on down. So that's why I'm not, I'm keeping on watch to see what it does. I mean, yeah, you're U-shaping, but to me that U-shape is kind of fast. It's like and the reason why I'm not falling for that U-shape, boss, is because it was a fast U-shape. It's not like it took time to consolidate. You know how those healthy U-shapes, it normally take like 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours when it come down and you're building up that bottom and then it starts to slowly move back on up, when it's building up the momentum. It was kind of like a quick, fast hit, like it just bumped U-shape so that it was just too fast. I just felt like it didn't have enough time to still just, that's why I'm not really confident about this area as far as buying a call, because I just still feel like this is holding up as resistance, and I'm just not falling for it. I mean, again, it could break, but I'm still leaning on the downside. I still feel like those bears are sitting right here. I'm telling you, those until we get a breakout again, those buyers can prove that they can overpower those bears. I mean, to me, I still think those bears are sitting right here. Those bears are sitting right here, trying to trap those bulls. That's why I'm not going in for a call right now. The market is just open 30 minutes in. So again, it's not like we had a full healthy U shape where you took hour, 2 hours where you have a nice little build on back on up. Here it was kind of dropped and then perp and jumped right back on up. So that's why I'm just kind of watching carefully. And then normally, okay, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you the trick to it. Normally, okay, when you do see something like that, that little quick move back on up, normally in pre-market it's already set up, right, Marty? Normally in pre-market, what we'll normally have in pre-market, we'll have those big solid green candles, right? That indicates that those buyers are in control. So that we know once intraday hits and we do get a pullback, the pullbacks are not strong because those buyers are coming right back in when it looks like a bull flag. However, on this pre-market setup, I don't see a strong green candle, that's giving me indications to where, okay, we can see a bull flag setup or kind of like that end setup like we'll normally see. See, in pre-market here, it's kind of showing a lot more weakness. See that? It's showing a lot more weakness because normally, if I can find a good one, but we did have a breakout when we went back on up. What was that at? See how we had that strong green candle here? That was indicating that buyers were in, and that was in pre-market. And even though we had that pullback, buyers moved in again and pushed it right back on up. But it gave us an indication that buyers was in here since pre-market. Again, like I said, it's going to be a slow movement. Because normally you get indications. See how you got that N-shaped pattern? How you had that green candle here, and then you got that pullback, and then it went like an N-shaped pattern because your buyers was already in. You had that nice, strong green candle, and then it gave you confirmation, something like that. But here it's like it was kind of like a little bit more weak. That's why it's a little tough to kind of call this one. See, you didn't have no strong green candle nor a strong red candle. I mean, you had a sell-off, but I didn't see no strong green candles just yet. Like, I didn't see the buyers stepping in yet to give me that confirmation to saying that, okay, we reversing back on up. That's why I'm watching this 512 range very carefully to see, again, if we hold above 512, I can see the possible move back on up, right? But however, we're not getting a strong blast just yet. We're not getting a strong blast, above 512. It's trying to push. It's trying. But I haven't got that confirmation candles that those buyers is moving in and trying to blast out of 512 and run that bad boy on up. As you can see, it's kind of stalling at the moment. It's just slowly stalling around 512. So that's letting me know the strength is not there just yet. You know, I still think that this area is still like a resistance. As you can see, look, see what I mean? It's struggling. It's like a little battle up and down, up and down. And as I told y'all that we were going to see that around 512 because 512 is your pivot point where you're going to go see. You're going to see a lot of up and down around 512. A lot of up and down around 512. You're going to see a little movement up. You're going to see a little bit movement down. A little bit of movement up, a little bit of movement down. And as you can see right here, you see what's happening around 512. So that's why I'm just keeping my eyes peeled. I'm not jumping in just yet because that's the pivot point. So again, people may be trying to jump in on a call thinking it's going to blast up. But then what about if it reverses and go on down? Because you have to understand that we are still underneath 512. That's still considered resistance where you can fall back on down to 510. You know, so that's still giving me that indication we still underneath that yellow line, 512. It hasn't broken yet. So that's still indicating that bears can still move in and push it back on down. So that's why I haven't jumped in until bulls can prove to me that they can break that level, hold that level. But I still see bears. I mean, look at it. Still getting a little weak. Look at it. Look at the power of the candle. Look at this. I see a lot more selling pressure trying to push it on down versus it getting pushed up. Look closely at the candle. Look at it. See that selling pressure pushing that candle down? It's trying to push it down underneath 512. So definitely just keep that on watch. I'm just watching. All I'm doing is watching. I'm just watching the setup. You know, I still see that it's weak. I still see bears are still in that area trying to push it underneath 512, underneath that yellow line. So it's going to be a lot of battle in between 512, you know, as far as who's going to take over, the bulls or the bears. Right now, still in the area of just consolidation and kind of up and down. I still see weakness, as you can see. That's why I didn't jump in for a call. They still pushing underneath 512, which can lead down, you know, to a further downside. Which is why you always have to read. Yeah, you got to read those candles, team. You got to read the candles. You got to read your price points. So as you can see, my line, my yellow line is 512. All I'm doing is watching to see who is going to take control or who is in control at the moment. At the moment, you can see, look at the selling pressure. It's pushing that candle down at the moment. It's going up, it's going down, it's going up, going down. But even though it's going up and going down, look at how bigger and bigger and bigger that the upper shadow is getting. Because those sellers are trying to keep it underneath 512. So if you notice that every time it hits 512, what does the bears do? Push on down. See, you're gonna see a lot of up and down, up and down, up and down. But look who's more in control right now. Your bears. Look at the push. Look at the push. Look at the selling pressure. Pushes it down underneath that yellow line. Which is why I'm saying I do think today we're gonna have a lot of channeling around 512. It's gonna be up, it's gonna be down, it's gonna be up, it's gonna be down, it's gonna be up, it's gonna be down. Because 512 can benefit both sides of the party. You stay on top of 512, you can benefit the bulls. It stays underneath 512, it can benefit the bears. Why is that? Because if you stay on top of 512, that turns into support for a possible move back on up to 513 to 514, right? For the bulls. However, if you stay underneath 512, that can benefit the bears when you go from 511, 510, 508 preferably. So that's why if you notice, it's going to channel in that pivot point because that is a pivot for the upside and a pivot for the downside. All it is right now is who's trying to take control of this particular price point, this particular territory between the bears and the bulls. So as you've noticed, why you think it hasn't lost 512 yet? It keeps staying around that area. It seems like it goes away from it, then it goes back up to it. It goes up to it, then it comes back down to it. If you notice, it keeps pivoting and it keeps rotating around 512 over and over and over because it hasn't made a decision yet, a true decision where it wants to go. The only thing I can base off on, even through this choppiness, is whether it's above 512 or underneath 512. The only thing I see at this moment is it's underneath 512, which means that the bears are still in control because it's holding underneath 512 where your selling pressure is coming in at. So you stay underneath 512, what is the outcome of that? You'll go possibly back down to 511, down to 510, right? So if you're above it, what can possibly happen on that scenario? Then you stay above 512, then you go up to 513 to 514. So that 512 is a pivotal point. It is a crucial area for the bears and the bulls because it can work for both parties. It can work for either side. So if you hold above 12, bulls. If it holds below 12, bears. So that's the easiest way. Instead of getting caught in the choppiness, team, watch how again, once you find your pivot point, all you have to see is the control. Underneath 512, bears. Above 512, bulls. Easy. So all you have to do is keep watching this pivot point until we start to see more and more weakness. Just wait for confirmation. Wait on confirmation. Right now, yeah, we got green candles. We got green candles, but we haven't broken that key level yet. And not just that. Not just looking at these green candles. You got to also look at this red candle. Because the red candle, where did the bears come in at? You got to look at that open. We haven't even got back up to the open yet where this huge red candle came in, where that flush, where those bears came in at. So now, not only is this area resistance, also your 512. So now they have two areas of territory in which you can see the weakness. There you go. You can definitely see the weakness from this area of the open where those bears came in at, and 512 where the bears came in at. So now they have two lines of territory that those bulls are going to have to conquer. They're going to have to conquer the 512 and also that open where you have this big red candle at, because you're going to have to break above that, because that area where the red candle is located is a ceiling. Because what do you normally have to do when we do a red to green, right? When you do a red to green, you have to break above that level that caused the red to happen. You have to break that red level and start to move back on the upside. So right now, this area is a ceiling as well as 512. So as you can see, those bears are taking advantage of it. They're starting to come in. They're pushing it back on down. You see the selling pressure. Buyers are start trying to push back up to it as well. So this is why you're going to see a lot of up and down around 512. So pay close attention to a lot of the channeling, a lot of choppiness around this 512 range until those bears come in and give you more of a consolidation. Give you more of a confirmation of a huge red candle on down saying, okay, we got it. We taking control. Now we're going to see a huge red candle forming. What happens normally when you have a huge red, what follows that? You have that H pattern when you're going on the next leg down, right? So all you're doing right now is just waiting on confirmation. So you want to see what candle is going to form. Are we going to see a big green candle soon? Or will we see a big red candle soon? Which one will we see? All we got so far, we have got green, 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 but you got stuff around this open. When your bears came in and pulled it on down. Shout out to you, Nuno. Shout out, boss.
Nuno tipped $5. You confirmed my entry on TSLA and it made me feel confident on the trade.
Man, shout out to you,
Sharing
boss.
the wealth. Thanks, boss.
Man, thanks to you too, boss, for believing in me. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Now, don't get me wrong. We can still break out because look, if you look right here, you can slowly see a reversal because on this side, look right here on this, you see this red trend line? What do you see? Red, 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 right? With only two green candles. Now, if the buyers can hold, we can actually reverse back this way when you go from red to green. So you can actually start going green, 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 where now the bulls are trying to trap the bears. So if they can hold these key levels, you can definitely see a switch over. You see it right here? Do y'all see it on the 15-minute? You see how you had this red downtrend? And it's slowly shifting over to a green uptrend. You notice that? So basically, if those buyers can hold, they can actually start reversing this to a green, like an uptrend going this way. Because like again, as you see, look toward the downtrend. Red, 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 right? All reds. And as we bounce, look what can possibly happen. It can go green, 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 green. If those buyers can step in, break above 512, right? Break above 512, claim that area, you can actually start going green, 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 green on the upside. So pay close attention around this area as we slowly try to reverse from a red to green. So notice the shift. Notice all your red candles lining up when your bears came in. Red, 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 with just two green candles. Now we're slowly shifting this way where you're getting green, 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 and two red candles. So again, if those buyers can break 512, hold 512, we can actually start going on an uptrend versus a downtrend. So pay close attention to that shift. Pay close attention to it. So you go from a downtrend where you can possibly change to an uptrend. Y'all see it? Tell me if y'all see that. Marty, y'all see it? What I'm talking about? How you can go, you started from a downtrend here. Because you had all red, 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 red. And then you can start to shift towards an uptrend where you can have green, 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 green. So pay close attention to a possible shift. If those buyers can move in, break above 512, you can actually start an uptrend back this way. However, If you do crack this and we come back on down, that will continue the downtrend. So pay close attention. That's why I said 512 is going to be very crucial, because if the bulls can break 512, you can actually shift your candles when you start to go green, 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 green this way. However, if you don't get back on up, then you'll start to continue the downtrend back down. So that's why I said 512 is going to be very crucial as far as the shift. If you can break 512 on the upside, we can continue on green. If we don't break the upside, we can still see a continuation on down to a red. So keep that on watch. But it does look like it wants to shift. I mean, pay close attention. It does look like it wants to slowly shift. So I'm watching it. Because again, you came out of this red formation on the downside, which looked like you can start to move on, transition on the upside in green. So pay close attention. I just noticed that. Yeah, because I didn't notice that first, but I started to realize that, because we didn't get no confirmation in pre-market other than like a downtrend. Because normally you either get a big red candle or a big green candle. But I did start to slowly notice that shift from red on down to a shift to green on up. So I'm just watching this area slowly to see. But in order for us to continue the uptrend, those buyers gonna have to get back, gonna have to break 512. That's gonna be it, because that's gonna turn into support. So that is gonna be crucial. So 512 is definitely gonna be a crucial point now that I see it even more. But keep it on watch. So I'm definitely watching this area here where you can get a possible shift where you go from red to green, if they can break that area 512. That's just gonna be the crucial part for the bulls. The bulls have to break 512. That's going to be a must. They have to. Because if not, 512 is going to get heavier and heavier, full of bears, and start to dragging back on down towards that 510.50 range. So that's why I'm just keeping it on watch to see exactly. Because right now it's not doing nothing. It's just kind of holding. So I want to see where we are right now, 1140. Yeah, we're starting to get a little bit of weakness. See, this is going to be, like I told you, 512 is going to be crucial. 512 is definitely going to be crucial. So I'm definitely keeping my eyes peeled, because the bears can definitely come in and pull it. Because right now they starting to get weaker and weaker. You can see that 511.30. See that? 512 was resistance. See that? They're slowly. See, it's a battle. It's a battle right at that 512 mark. Just keep it on watch. Watch. I'm telling you, it's a battle right now. It's going to be back out. I told you it's going to be a lot of choppiness right around that 512. It's going to be up and down. So again, what bears would need to do is give us confirmation that is over. That bulls have no choice. They can't go back up to the top anymore. Especially if we lose that 511 back on down. But right now we are in a crucial area where bears are definitely guarding 512. They're definitely guarding that area. You can see that clearly. Those bears are trying to come in. Bears are definitely trying to come in. They're trying to come in heavy. Definitely trying to come in heavy. You can see it. Look at the price. 1120, starting to lose it. 511.30. 511.30 is trying to push back up. All right, keep it on watch. But I'm just helping y'all, because this is how you control yourself. This is how you control your entries and your exits. Like, don't get caught in chops. Just pay close attention to certain areas. Okay, say for instance you did jump in. Say for instance you did get in on a put, and you want to get in on a chop. Okay, what would be your entry? What would be your entry? What would be your entry as far as a put? And that goes to y'all YouTube, to Gangredan, Soccer King, J24, my Tradecaster crew. Well, if you was going in for an entry, what would have been your entry as far as a put? What would have been your entry? As far as safe haven, what would have been your entry? Yeah, exactly. 512. 512 would have been it, because that's your pivot point. Because as long as that holds underneath, yeah, it's gonna go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But if you notice, it's still underneath what? 512. So again, you can go in for a scalp. Going to 511.50 down to 511. You can ride it on down as long as it stays underneath 512. So you would have had a good entry of 512 to, what was the open? 512 to what? 512. What was it, like 512? 15? What was the open on this damn thing? What's the open? I'm trying to figure out what my open was. Okay, 512.15. So yeah, so if you would have got in at 512.15, 512, you can still get a scalp in, because as long as you're underneath 512, ride it on down. Ride it. I mean, just go. Just keep. It's away from your entry. You can see the 512 is holding up a strong resistance. Get in the scalp. I'm not saying holding in for a long-term situation. I'm saying getting in for a scalp. Get in at 512, ride it on down to 511.50. If 511.50 cracks, ride it on down to 511. You're still getting $1 move out of it, is what I'm saying. As long as you stay underneath 512, that's the main focus. I told you the pivot point. Okay, you see that we ran up, failed. You can see right here where that. I mean, you gotta get one confirmation was that red candle. You already got a confirmation. Red candle here already. Boom, red candle, nice solid red candle. So basically, once it ran back on up, what did it couldn't break? That open, right? Because you got confirmation from that red candle. So if you already would have got in right where the red candle is, and you start to see the weakness, okay, we're losing 512.15. Now we're losing 512, and you still holding your position. Boom. Look, see how easy that was for an entry? Boom. I mean, it's safe. You don't have to worry about getting squeezed out of your position, because after the bounce, you waited for it to go back up to retest because you got confirmation from that red candle, right? This is what you could have done. You could have done this. Once you got confirmation from this huge red candle, wait for a bounce, because it's going to go back up. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're getting a nice candle like this, that means your bears are sitting in these areas, right? So as it comes back up, get in for a nice entry. And then now you start to lose 515, you start to lose 512, and you just riding it on down. That's it. You're riding that bad boy on down. I mean, easy little scalp. If you was going for it. That's basically what I'm saying on how to control scalps. Or you just get a confirmation. Nice little confirmation. Bounce back on up. 512 is holding because we haven't broken 512. 512 is resistance. So 9 times out of 10, 512 would be your entry. So 512, 512, 512, and because we have not broken it yet. However, we are on an uptrend, which is why I say do a scalp, which you don't hold it long term, because as you can see, that uptrend is still holding. Uptrend is still holding for a possible push. So, quick scalp, get in and out, boom, done. So right now we are holding on that uptrend, slowly holding on the uptrend. Still watching this 512 mark. It's nothing yet. Nothing yet. Because it just does look like it wants to reverse to the upside. It does. I mean, it seems like those buyers want to move in and squeeze out of that position. That's why I'm just keeping my eyes on peeled, because we haven't got a massive pullback, where it's causing a panic. Because you get a pullback and then it goes back up. It's almost like a pullback failure, and it's a pullback failure almost around that same key area right here. If you look at them bottom wicks, it's almost like a pullback failure around 11. What was this? What did they fail? Because they pulled back and then went back up. Pulled back, went back up. So these buys are moving in right in this area, trying to hold it above 1150. Okay, that makes sense. All right, 1150. They hold above 1150 because you're 50 cents away from 12. Yeah, so those buys are definitely trying to move back in. I definitely see the setup now. That's why I was saying that reversal. You see how I seen that reversal? That's why I said it looked like it wanted to go red to green. I started to notice that. I was like, because I see a lot of red candles going this way, but then I started to see a lot of green candles shift this way. I was like, they trying to hold up a certain area. See, I told you, I knew they was up to something. That's why I was watching. I said, especially they got around that 5-10 area. They trying to create those traps to try and go on the squeeze. I see what they doing. I see exactly what they trying to do. I see what they doing. They trying to reverse it. They're reversing it slowly, where you going from a red to green, right at that 512, because now they're trying to trap those bears to create a squeeze out of that 512 mark. I see exactly what they doing. I see you now. I see what you're doing. That's why I had my trend line there, because I knew something was up. I was like, wait a minute. I said, we're not getting a full drop. And I started to notice the shift right here. I started to notice red, and then you shift over to green. And look, green with only one red candle. You know what that means. Here we go, team. I knew that shift. I was waiting for a shift. I seen it. I started to see it right here. I said, a shift is coming. Because now you're getting green with one red candle. Oh, here we go. Nah, I see you. See what you doing. That's why sometimes you got to just sit there and watch. Instead of just jumping in, like kind of start to understand and figure it out. So I started to, like I said, I started to notice the shift. When I seen this, I seen red, but then it wasn't no more pullback here. After that, I started to see green. I'm like, that's why I put my trend line right here, because I'm like, what about they trying to set up an uptrend when you're going from a downtrend to an actual uptrend? So they trying to stay, and I told y'all it's gonna try to get it right. It's gonna pivot around 512. So I knew something was setting up. I was just waiting on it to see if it was really gonna happen. So I'm keeping on watch. So let's see. I noticed that because I told you it was gonna be a lot of rotation around 512. And as you can see, 511.70 trying to go right back up to where 512. I knew something was up. See, that's why. And now you see why Marty and y'all. Now you see why I was trying to go for 510, because I kind of knew what the setup was gonna happen. What the setup was about to happen. That's why I told you I wanted 510. That's why I had my line down here. But it happened in pre-market. It didn't happen during intraday, which pissed me off because I wanted 510 for the possible move up to 512. And see what I mean? Had to happen in pre-market where I missed. I could have had a great entry because I seen the setup. I seen it. And I based it off of, all I did was base it off of my pattern on my 180. Because I can see right
Jeremy
here.
B says, Good morning.
Good morning, boss.
Waiting on a flight listening to you today.
Yeah, because you can see right here. Look what's lining up with that uptrend. 510, right? 510. And normally when you hit on SPY, normally when you hit that green line, you have a nice move back on up. And as it was coming down, what was the closest area to that trend line? 510. Which is why I was trying to get in 510 for the move back on up. But again, it happened in pre-market. And again, when you're dealing with options, you can't get in pre-market. And that's why I'm saying you always miss half time. You miss the best opportunities. I could have got in at 510 and been riding it back on up, but that sucked. That's why I was talking about a double bottom. I said if we were to crack and come back on down, we could see a possible double bottom. A possible double bottom, but we haven't pulled back down to that area yet. I was like, yeah, I see they setting up something. They setting up a trap around this area. I can see that clearly around 510. I clearly see a setup. That's why I was trying to get in. I was trying to get in, get out, because I wasn't trying to hold. I mean, that would have been a $2 profit, from 510 to 512. I mean, even though I would have got in with 1,000 shares, say for instance it happened in intraday, I still would have made $2,000. So or close to $2,000, because that was $10.50, so you got to take 50 cents off. But yeah, 1,500 ish, I guess, whatever. And I told y'all it might be setting up a W. Remember I told y'all that earlier too. It could be setting up for a W. And I was trying to get on a damn setup. Man, I missed it. I was trying to catch them bottoms. Again, we might get a pullback still. I mean, we still may get a pullback. I mean, we could. Because if you notice here that we could possibly set up for let me move it over a little bit so I can close up the and that's what I was trying to mention earlier, that we could be come on, chart. God dog, y'all dead. Yeah, here we go. So as I was mentioning, that we could be setting up for a possible W pattern here, where you can clearly see the setup. That's why I was calling this out, where we could possibly see a W pattern. You bounce off that trend line, and then you come back down, and you bounce off that trend line for a move back on up. That's what I was trying to. That's why I was trying to get at 510. Now you see why I was trying to get at 510. Why I was so pressed on getting in around 510. Now you see why I was trying to do that. When it happened in pre-market and I didn't catch it. Oh, man. Sack of crap. I mean, we still could get a pullback down to 510. It would be like somewhat of a double bottom. Let me see. Let's see how strong. Let's go back as this is happening. Let's see how strong this 510 can hold. Let's go back into the past real quick. So let's take about a 30-minute. Let's look into like a 30-minute time frame real quick. So we're going to look to see what possible bounces are, the areas that they're trying to hold up before the meeting comes out. So let's see exactly, right? So we know around 5.8, 5.10, you come these bounces here and here. 5.10, bounce, 5.08, bounce, 5.08, 5.10, bounce. Always around 5.10, 5.08, around these two areas, because you can clearly see it. Every time you come down to those two key areas, 5.10, 5.08, you get a nice bounce on up. Same area here, 5.08, 5.10, nice move back on up. 5.08, 5.10, nice move back on up. So that's why I was anticipating between 5.8 to 5.10 for a nice bounce back on up. So again, we may get it. I'm still sitting in anticipation for it. I ain't gonna count it out just yet. We still could see some weakness. And we cracked that uptrend. Cause they setting up something. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, they setting up something between that 508 to 510 level before the meeting comes out. I'm telling you what they trying to do. They setting up something. I'm just trying to get in like I got in last time. Remember I did that last time for what it was more than when I jumped in and did that swing trade. Was that that was the PCE data, wasn't it? The PCE data when it came out, and I got in on the swing trade because I seen the bad trap. I got in on the call, and the next thing you know, I was up like $500 the next day because I saw that bad trap coming. All I'm trying to do is do the same exact thing for this bad boy because I know a trap. They setting up a trap. I'm just going to the low areas. I know that where can these buys will possibly be sitting around, which is 510, 508. So all I'm trying to do is just wait on those setups. But I mean, I could easily got in and got out, at the 510 level, but it happened in pre-market. So now I got to come up with another game plan for that one. Because again, we could get a possible pullback down towards 510. I ain't gonna count that out. We can still get a possible move because you're still in a channel if you think about it. Because we haven't broken 512 yet, so we're still in a channel of 512 and 510. You have to think about that. Because right now, if you look at it from that channel standpoint, the tops is 512, the bottoms is 510. So all we are right now is at the tops of 512, and we still haven't came down in intraday to 510. So that's why I say it's gonna play around this little area. That's why I'm just watching, just to see exactly what it does. Let me go to a 15. All right. Let's see. Because I'm trying to get a good entry. Because the way that this is setting up, I know what they're trying to do. I know what they're trying to do, and I was trying to get in at the lows of 510. So if I would have been in the lows, had this would have happened in intraday, I would have got in around 510 and just riding this bad boy on the possibility of what they're trying to do. But it happened in pre-market, and I missed it. I was like, man. So I hate pre-market, but I hate the fact is but that's one thing I don't understand. Why the hell can you not trade options in pre-market and after hours? Like, I don't understand it. It's like, it's still like a day trade, so I don't understand what's the difference with this. I understand the expiration days. I understand that crap, but still, I'm like, say for instance, we have an expiration date. Because I'm saying, like, say for instance, the expiration date ends Friday, right, Marty? It ends on the 22nd, right? 22nd. But you have now until the 22nd. So why are you not able to trade in pre-market and after hours before the contract expires? Don't you think you have the right to still do that if the contract has not expired? I don't get that. That makes no sense at all. If I'm going out with a further out expiration date, out to like say a week out, a month out, why am I not able to trade pre-market and after hours, and my contract is still good? I don't get it. That part I'm always just. I just don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense. Because which is kind of stupid to me, because it's like, if you pushing options out to 415, why not 430? Why not 5? I always had questions about the market in every which way. Why can't contracts expire? Options, go past 4:15. Why can't it go to 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock? Why do you only get 3-day trades? Why not 4? Why not even it out? If you do get 2 losses, why not being able to put yourself in a position where you get 2 wins back? Why 3? Why not 4? Why not even out the numbers? I don't know. I always had a lot of questions about the market in so many ways. Like, why? Why 3-day trades? Why the number 3? Why, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just weird on how the way that they set these things up. Why 25, as far as a PDT, why 25,000? Why not 20? What the hell a $5,000 difference make from 25 to 20? Things like that of that nature. It's just stupid, because it's like, and the reason why I say that is because, say for instance, you hit big, right? And you go up to 20,000. You're still in the PDT because you're underneath it by 5,000. What's the point of that? You're still at a good range. I'm like, man, why can't the PDT drop at 20,000? What the hell does $5,000 have to do with anything? Like, why not 20,000? Because that's gonna kind of, I'm not saying it's gonna break down that confidence, but it just kind of like a kind of like a tease, because it's like, man, I'm up 20,000, but I'm still under the PDT because I'm down 5,000. It's like, what? But we have to go with it. We have to go with things we can't control. So gotta respect the market. That's their rules. I'm like, okay. So, which I mean, I don't mind challenges. I like challenges, but it's just the rules that they come up with. It's like, when did you come up with this? Why did you come up with this? What made you come up with this? Like, what made you pick 3-day trades to say you giving these traders a 3-day trade minimum? It's like, hey, what made you pick 3? Like, what made you pick an off number? Why not 4? I don't know. It's just weird. It's interesting. We don't have a 25,000 minimum in here in the county. I know. It's just I don't understand that. It's just weird. Cause think about it too, Marty. Another thing that kind of it makes me think is like, okay, you have the PDT rule, right? You can't trade. You only allow 3-day trades under 25,000, right? But you can have multiple accounts to day trade over and over and over again. What sense does that make? You limit it to 3-day trades on one account, but you're allowed to have multiple accounts where you can trade over and over and over and over again. Makes no sense at all. I don't get it. It's like you limit to 3-day trades, but yet I can have damn near 10 accounts and I can still day trade. It's like, what? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like when I was right now I'm under the PDT because I'm doing that small account challenge. Dude, I can trade 9 times a week. I have 9-day trades throughout the week. So what's the limit for if I can still trade more than 3 times? It makes no sense. It's like, what? Now don't get me wrong, it still limits you because you can't go past a certain amount of trades, which I don't think nobody should be trading damn near 100 times a day anyway. So I mean, that's like common sense. Oh, and look, I told you that uptrend still holding. And as I was saying, it's like, boom! I told you, I knew it what they was up to. I knew they was setting up something. I knew it. I told y'all. Didn't I say that transition was gonna happen? Slowly transitioning over. I told y'all. I told you. I saw it. When I seen this shift right here. I say, dude, I see what they doing. I see exactly what they doing. They switching over and I see the setup. That's why I put my trend line right here. I already knew it was gonna happen before it happened. Why do you think I already had my line set in place? I already saw it. I seen it. Bad trap city. So puts, do be careful because I do see a potential squeeze about to happen. So do be careful. I seen it. I seen that move coming. That's why I had my line set in place. Why do you think I had my trend line set up already right here? Why do you think I already had my line set up right here? I seen it. I seen that squeeze. I saw it. I saw that setup coming. That's why I say, man, you gotta know how to read the market real well. I know when they're trying to set up bad traps. I know when they're trying to set up a certain, I know what they're trying to do. Just because you get used to it. You start to study. Again, once you start to understand the personality of a stock, it don't matter whether it's Tesla, Apple, Amazon, even SPY, you'll start to understand the setups of what they're trying to do next. Why do you think I had my line set in motion? I knew what they was up to. I was just waiting on it. I was just waiting to see if it was going to actually happen, and I'd be damned, it happened. They did push at that 512 mark. I told y'all, I said, if they get that build up, you start to switch over and build up. 512. I told you 512 is going to be very important. Boom, 512 break. You get above 512. Now they can turn 512 into a support line where they can hold on top of 512, start trapping bears for the pushback on up.
Maybe close the M gap and down.
But boss, I seen that setup coming. I seen it. I already see what they was doing ahead of time because I told y'all the only reason why I knew that was because of my chart pattern off my 180. I told you anytime you get close to that trend line, what happens? I done told y'all this over and over and over and over again. It bounces. It gets close to this green line. It bounces. I told y'all what was the closest area to that trend line? 5 510. What did we bounce at around this morning? 510.50. Why you think I was trying to get in? I said I was going to get in around 510 and ride that bad boy back on. Man. I'm just pissed because I couldn't get in it. Because I knew what they was doing. And I couldn't get the entry I wanted at 510. You selfish son of a fat girl on a Tuesday. I couldn't curse. I didn't want to curse. Sorry. Oh, man. I seen the setup, and I wanted that 510. That's why I had my line down here at 510. You dirty MFer. I wanted that move. So now I have to move my entry up. You sack of crap. I wanted this. This is what I wanted in intraday, but it happened in pre-market. I wanted this so bad. Man. Okay, all right. So now I got to come up with a new game plan. Now I got to switch my entry. Okay, here we go. So now, what will be the next entry? Possible entry. Oh, come on, man. You dirty somebody. I was anticipating that. And what I told y'all, if I didn't know that was gonna happen, tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying to call me a liar. To call me, for y'all on YouTube and for Tradecaster, to call me a liar to my face. What did I say? What pattern could form on this 180 chart? Let's pull it out right now. And what I told y'all, to show y'all I'm not lying. I dare y'all to call me a liar to my face. I dare you to call me a liar to my face. What pattern did I say could possibly form on this chart? What did I tell y'all? What did I call? What pattern did I say could form? What pattern did I say could form? I don't want to hear nothing else. Tradecaster YouTube. What exactly? Did I not call it? Trend, did I not call it? Did I not? Trend, dude, man, and I wanted that low area right there, that trend line, and at pre-market, it hit in pre-market. You dirty. I'm gonna calm down, cause that would have been the best call opportunity. That's cool. That's cool. That's why I hate pre-market doing options. I hate it. I say doing options. I hate options for pre-market. I can't even talk. I'm mixing my words. I wanted that 510 so bad, y'all don't know. Team, I wanted this so bad. Cause that was the same call I did when I did my 805 when I made my $2,000, right? I went down to 805.50. I alerted it. I got in on my call because y'all was with me. Trent, Marty, y'all was with me when I went in for my call down to 508. Boom, when everybody's making fun of me because of my lines, I called that specific number out Friday. I said 508.50 to 508. What did I get in at? 508. What did it shoot up? 950. Because now that I'm starting to understand the pattern, see it's moving up slowly. If y'all pay close attention, it's going in patterns. 508, 510. What you think is next? What you think is going to be the next bounce? Around what? 512. Because you did 508, 510. Now your possible area is 512 where you're going on an uptrend. High low. That's why I wanted this area, because I already was going to catch a low area, 510, and then hold my position, let it bounce around 512 for the possible move right back on up. Shoot. It messed me up, man. That's cool. Let me just revamp myself, because now that it messed up my entry, the area I wanted. Now I'm going to have to kind of redo this, kind of refigure this out. And I wasn't doing long term. That's the thing about it. I want to in and out, because I knew the setup, especially from the 510 range. From the 510 range, I knew we could run up to 512, because that was a $2 move. Because you remember, I told y'all, what did I tell? It's another thing. Okay, Trent and Marty, if I'm lying again, what was the area that I said to focus on today. What did I say was the pivot area? What did I call out? What was the price point I called out today? What was the pivot point? Right? What was the pivot point I called out? YouTube, y'all too, if y'all want to participate. What was the price point? Exactly. 512, right? So if we came down to 510, nine times out of 10, where was it going to return back to? Ah, Marty, I hate Marty. With that 99, I want to just sock you just one good time. Nah, shout out to Marty though. 512. So if you look at this pivot point and look at that as a magnet, every time you leave from 512, you return back to 512, right? So when we left from 512, I knew an area that was close and an area I can get in at was going to be 510, 510.50, because nine times out of 10, you're going to retract right back to 512, which is why I wanted this area, because I knew I had room to run back to this area where I could have got out, been done. Son of a. What do you think about puts at 512.50 for? Good question, Trent. We are, don't get me wrong, we are still on a downtrend. We are still on a downtrend moment, but it's gonna be a battle up and down, because if you look on this look at this chart here. Let me bring it back on up. You got a long upper shadow and a bottom upper shadow, so it's in between, kind of like a doji. So, and knowing that red finishes off, that doji can indicate a reversal on up instead of on down. So it looked like it wants to make a doji symbol. So that's why I'm trying to figure out who's going to take control of 512. Because right now, 512 is still indecisive. Because now you're above 512 on top. And you're on an uptrend. So see what I mean? Now you see what I mean, Trent, on how confusing it gets when you get around 512 versus when you're away from it. Because when you was away from it, you had time to decide whether you was going to go back up to 512 because you were away from that key level, right? See, that's why it was so easy for me to make a decision, going from 510 to 512, because you're away from 512. Now you're around 512, and not just that, you got a possible reversal from a red to green going on this trend line. Why is that? Because you got that necessary pullback down to that trend line where those buys moved in. Look at the buying pressure. Those buys came all the way in from 510 back on up to 512. Look at the buying pressure. So that's a possible reversal. Look at this. Now you're going from red to green. Now you got nothing but green candles going this way. So now that's going to be even tough for a put. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be tough for a put. You reversed. And look at trend. Look at the reversal. Boss, look at the reversal. This morning, pre-market, you had a reversal on down. That was easy to see, right? It was easy to see because you had red candle, red candle, red candle, and a few greens, right? Because that lets you know that the sellers were in control, the bears were in control. However, you reversed. Now you're going from red to green, where you can now got green candle, green candle, green candle, green candle with two red candles. So notice the reversal. Now your buyers are in control. You're above 512 that can hold up as a support line, possibly up to 5. I mean, it could run back up to 514. I'm not gonna lie to you, because now it's putting you in a channel of 5. If that area holds, now you're back in the old channel of 514, 512, 510. So, and the only reason why I'm calling it is because look at the pattern on the 180, boss. And look, if I go back here, look, these are where your buyers moved in at, and this is why I'm calling this. I mean, you're gonna get some pullbacks. But notice the pattern right here. I'm not saying it can't happen, but the fact is, look at the buys. Look how the buys moved in around the 510, and that buying pressure came in right above what? 512. To hold that now is what? Support to move it back up this way. So I'm not saying that you still can't get a pullback. You most definitely can get a pullback down to 512. You can most definitely do that. The only thing that I'm stating is it's going to have to be a quick scalp in and out, because now the fact is you on top of 512, that can now be considered support now instead of resistance. So yeah, I can see you getting in at 512.50 for the pushback down to 512 itself, because again, you do have room to come back down to that pivot point. But however, now that we're above 512, now those buyers can be sitting right in that area now, where they can be actually setting up bear traps. So now again, as you do come down to 512, I would get the hell out immediately, because you don't want to get caught in the potential bear traps now, since we're above 512, where bulls can actually be sitting now, trapping bears at this point. Now, don't get me wrong. When we was underneath 512, your bears could have been trapping the bulls and pulling them on down. However, buyers came in strong, pushed it back above 512. So now that area can turn into a potential bear trap for the move back on up. So do be careful. Go in for a quick scalp, in and out to 512, but don't hold it because that area can be still considered a support line until you crack it. So keep that in mind. Again, yeah, you can get a pull back down, but just be mindful now you're on top of it where that can now turn into a demand zone instead of a supply zone. So nothing is wrong with riding it back down, but don't hold it long term until you crack it and you see those bears move in heavy to give you confirmation that, okay, we taking over 512 again. We are coming down 512, 511, 510. At this moment, I see a long bottom shadow. I see a pretty much almost like a setting up for a doji for a reversal to happen back this way. So I do see this to this. I do see that. So just keep that on watch. So I mean, again, I just want you to be careful, boss. I just don't want you to get caught up. I don't want you getting caught no bull traps. I just don't. I mean, no bear traps. You can ride it back on down, but I mean, it's gonna be a quick scalp. I'm just telling you right now, because look at the candles. Look at your buying candles now. Those buys are definitely moving back in. So be careful. I just don't want you getting caught in a bear trap. I do not, and that looks like a bull flag setup. Just be very careful in and out. Do not hold it long term. I care about you guys. I don't want you to get caught up in a bear trap because now the buys are moving in. You're on an uptrend. You're holding up 512. Be careful. That's all I'm gonna say. Please just be very careful. Cause I mean we did reverse. I mean you clearly see a downtrend back to an uptrend. So definitely just I care about you guys and I want to see you win. Be very, very careful right now. Because now you already know the day before a huge thing is coming out, they're setting it up. Because I'm telling you, if everything goes where I think it's gonna go, they're trying to go back up to 514. And I'm gonna tell you why I think they're trying to go back up to 514 is because that's gonna put you back in a channel of 514, 516 to 518. And once that FOMC meeting comes out, it's gonna blast off. It's gonna take off because 9 times out of 10, before it starts getting downside, 9 times out of 10 you'll get upside first, right? You'll get upside first. So if they get up to that 514 level today, hold 514, and then once that FOMC meeting comes up, then you'll go up to 516, 518 to a higher level, 520, 522. Because again, normally when you have an FOMC meeting and Jerome Powell speaks, you're normally on the upside first. And it's after he speaks is when you come back on down. So keep that in mind. You hold this key level, you have room to run up this way, around 514. And if you break that 514, you have room to run up to that 518 level. 516, then up to 518. But keep that on watch, though. Just keep it on watch. Keep it on watch. That's what I was telling you, boss. Be careful. Because I told you that when I seen that reversal, like I said, I know you got stopped out, but 9 times out of 10, you will get a pullback somewhere around that low level. Because you're going to get that failure pullback where those bears are going to try to come in and pull it down to that 512 level. So you will get a pullback. You will get a pullback to that level because they're going to try to test it. I can tell you right now. They're going to try to test it. What was the low on this? How low did they come down? 512.19? That's why I told you, be careful. See that? That's why I told you, be careful. I see that reversal. I'm like, why you think I was trying to get in at 510? I knew it. Man, I just missed it. Why did this move have to happen in pre-market? Why? Just why? I seen that setup coming. I seen it. I was trying to get in, but again, with options, I couldn't get in pre-market. That's the only thing that sucked. I was like, man, if I could get in that area, I could just ride that bad boy on up. Because I knew what they was trying to do. And look, I'd still have been sitting in my position riding it on up. Sucks, man. Sucks. And look, I told you that candle. What I told you. Look, Trent. Possible W. I told you. I seen it coming a mile away. I seen it. Man. I just hate that I missed it, though, man. I'm trying to figure out what else can I'm trying to think of another good entry. Because I'm not buying at these tops. That's a hell no. Let me see. maybe 1150-ish, something like that. You do got room to fall back down. Do got room to come back down. That's why I am not buying to these tops. Okay. But that's why I'm not buying to these tops, because you are getting close to that downtrend still. So even though you're going up, you're about to hit towards this area. That's why I'm just watching. It's like, that's why I'm not trying to buy high. Hell to the no. Oh, no. Because you are getting right back where that downtrend is located, and I'm not about to touch that just yet. So if I go back, we're coming right around that area. But that's why I was trying to get in early before that area hits. Man, it's like now I got to revamp everything. See, I told you, Trent, you might get a pullback. That's why I told you to be. I mean, I know you got stopped out. That's why I told you to be patient. You had to wait. See, I told you. That's why I told you, man. You just had to wait. That's why you think I was sitting here waiting? That's why I told you, boss. I had to wait on. Just wait on the pullback. I told you it's gonna happen. You're gonna get a pullback. You just gotta wait on it, cause you're hitting some highs. Y'all around that 512.50. 512.50. You're gonna hit. You're gonna get a nice little pullback on down. Just gotta. It's just all about patience. It's just a patience game, boss. That's all it is. You gotta be patient. You gotta wait on the right setups. That's why I wasn't buying to the tops. I'd rather wait on pullbacks. That's why I was telling you to get in now, so you can get a pullback down. I mean, could have rolled it on down. Get in at 12.50. Boom, ride it on down. Oh, and you got in at 12.50 too, huh, Trent? Oh yeah, you could have been riding it back on down still. That's why you gotta understand how to have patience, man. Like, don't get shaken out of your position just yet. That's why I say, man, get in, get out. But I told you, you're gonna get a pullback. You're gonna definitely get a pullback coming. You just had to wait on it. Cause what we hit 512.25. I still think you're gonna get a deeper pullback than that. I still think you'll come down a little bit lower. Let's see if we're gonna get it though. Let me see if we're gonna get that pullback. Man, I should have caught that move. That's all right. So I was telling you to hold your position. That's why I didn't want you to get scared out of your position. Because I knew a pullback was coming. Hey, Trent, when did you get in at? As far as your entry, you just getting in on the put. Could have got in. You could have held your 512.50 mark. You could have held it. Look, Trent, I told you it's gonna come back down to it. I told you. It's gonna rotate around 512. It's gonna come back. You leave from it. You're gonna return back to it. Just gotta have patience, boss. It's just all about patience. It's a patience game. Patience. You just gotta wait it out, you know. Because I told you, keep your main focus. Trend. You got out. I told you, boss. He said he got stopped out too. What was his entry? He said got it at 12.50. Oh, Trent. Trent would have got it. Had he would have held his position. Oh, man. Trent had it. Yep, now you're getting that little deep pullback. Nah, I told you. It's gonna come. You rotate around at 512. You leave from it. You're gonna come back to it. You are definitely gonna come back to it. Look at that rotation. Boom. Then 9 times out of 10, you're gonna come right back to 512 again. It's all about, again, team, it's all about patience. You just gotta be patient. Keep your eyes on the main price point. Anytime, that's all you do. You play around it. You get in on the call, run up to it. Get in on the call, run up to it. Get in on the put, comes down to it. Get in on the put, comes down to it. So it's gonna be, I told y'all, it's gonna be a lot of up and down. It's gonna be a lot of up and down. It's gonna be a lot of choppiness. That's gonna happen. That's definitely gonna happen. But I do see it pulling back down. It's gonna happen. You just gotta give it time to do it.
Soccer King says, is there anybody who made money today? Let us know, please.
Yep, see? What happens? You're going to return slowly back down to 512. Trent. Hey, Trent, you still on here, boss? He would have stayed in his position. He would have had it. I told you it was going to turn back to 512. My guy would have had it, man. I was rooting for him. Anybody else jumped in on the put? Any one of y'all jumped in on the put? Back down underneath 512.50? I told y'all, it was gonna come down. I told you it's gonna rotate around 512. So all you do is take advantage of that situation. So basically, what I mean by that is when you rotate away from it, get in on the put, it comes back down to it. It rotates on the downside from it, get in for it to go back up to that area. So get in on the call, run back on up. Get on for the call, run back on up. Get in for a put, run back on down. Get in for a put, run back on down. All it's gonna do is rotate around 512. That's it. 512, 512, 512. And as you can see, it's slowly trying to come back down. Because where we at? 512.24. It's going to slowly come back down to it. Just got to give it time. Oh, man. Trent had it. He was at the perfect area, too. He was at 512.50. Trent. He had the, damn near almost the close to perfect entry for a put. Look at that. Closest to perfect entry to a put for a move right back on down to 512. He said he got stopped out. Oh, man. Wait, well, I wonder what was his stop, what was his stop loss? Well, yeah, stop loss. I wonder what he was trying to get out. Was it what, 170? No, see, if he would have gave himself, he said he got in at 512.50. So he would have gave himself at least by 15 cents. He probably would have been good. At least 65. At least 65. His stop loss was in profit, he said. Oh, I'm gonna have to check it. It says in my profit or Dex profit? Let me see. He posted it? I didn't know he posted anything in profit. Let me check. Did he? No, I don't see nothing on mine. He must have posted in Dex lobby. They go that N shape pattern. Here we go. There go that N, the one we all talk about. When you go in that little N shape and you can move back on up to a higher level. There you go. Trying to take I'm in puts now, and the money stop loss guarantees my profit. His stop loss was in. So wait. So it said he hit a stop loss, right? So wait, what was the stop loss? I see 952. He says I'm in on puts. He said he got in around 512.50 in the money with stop loss that guarantees me. So I wonder if he banked on it then. That's a good question on that. Yep, and look at that candle. Green, baby. Look at that. Green, red, green. So, yep, you see where it's trying to go back up to, 514. You can definitely see where that bad boy's trying to run up to, 514, team. 514 is where it's trying to run. Tell you right now. Trying to go to 514 to this level. Hold that level to up to 516. So, it's trying to go back this way. So, I'm telling you exactly where it's trying to go, 514. So, definitely keep who got in on the call? Shoot, what possible move up to 514? It's going to be a lot of up and downage. But yeah, look like it's trying to go up to 514. The low boy say he did. When you got in there, boss? Did you get in on that pullback? Like I told you, always get in on those pullbacks as low as possible. You don't ever want to buy the highs. Get in as low as possible.
Says, I am in 513 calls.
Saka, why didn't you get on the pullback? Right here, when they had this pullback, you could have got in a lower area. You could have got in right here, this pullback. That was around the open. Yeah, you never want to buy the tops. I mean, nothing wrong with it, especially if the momentum keeps going, you good. But to save yourself, you could have got in around that open, around this 5, 12, 15-ish area where you came down and you bounced right off of it. You'd at least been in a safe area. Because here you're kind of putting yourself in a gambling position. But the way the volume is going, I mean, you could start to continuously go back on up, but you'd have more of a safer risk level down here versus here. You know, I'm not doubting when you got in there because the momentum is still kicking in. So you can definitely still get in at 513 for a move back on up. But what I'm saying, it would just be more safer for you to get down here to pull back. Because, yeah, right here it's a little bit risky because it's going to be a lot up and down, up and down, up and down to those, to the bulls move in and continuously push the move bone up. I mean, it does look like a bull flag pattern. Don't get me wrong. It does look like a bull flag pattern. So you're going to see a lot of up and down, up and down. So I still think it's going up towards the upside. Don't get me wrong on that. I definitely still think we're going on the upside. It's just that you're just gonna be dealing with a lot of headache with this up and down crap. Low ball, what was your entry, boss? What was yours? Cause like I said, Soccer. I mean, who was that? Soccer said that. Soccer's still good. Like I said, cause as long as that bull flag, that pattern can hold, you get back about 513, you start to move back on up. Wait, hold on. He said 513. Wait. I just thought about that. I mean, at 513 calls. We ain't even hit 513 yet, so where did you get in at? Wait. So, Soccer, what was your entry? You said you in at 513 calls, so what was your entry then? You said stopped out with profit now, but entry was at 515? Oh, you was on SPX. You looking at SPX. I keep forgetting about that. You looking at SPX chart. I'm looking at SPY. I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, I forget half of the people look at SPX chart. I use SPX to trade with, but I use SPY as far as my charting. All right, here we go. Soccer. Look like we're trying to hold back on up, so keep that on watch. We're trying to go back on up, so you got to break above, get back above 512.50. Get back above 512.50. You have to run back on up towards that area, but I'm keeping it on watch. I'm definitely keeping it on watch. Because where we at right now? 512. So we still trying to slowly trend on up. So I'm just keeping on watch. All right, 512.50 is holding. 512.50 is holding. So it's going to be a lot of up and down. A lot up and down right now. A lot up and down. $512.50 still holding. Yeah, that's why I tell y'all, man. Y'all never want to buy these highs, especially off of that VWAP. That's why you want to get as close to the VWAP as possible and then the breakout. Because you always got to remember, too, that can also return back to that VWAP level, too. That's why I always tell y'all, keep that on watch. Don't never buy to these areas, like, unless you get in full put, off of the, 512 on the upside where you can pull back down. And as far as calls, get in, when you, pull underneath for the retraction back on up. So when you are getting overextended on the upside, 9 times out of 10, you're going to return down the downside. So it's going to be a lot up and down around that 512 area, around that pivot point. Stopped out with profits now, but entry was there. Yeah, so kept rating his. So you said 515.51. So, okay, low ball. So on SPY, what was that price at? Because I know I'm not looking at SPX chart. So what was that at as far as SPX chart located? What was that price point at? Just watching this little top area right here. Definitely watching this. Keep my eyes peeled on this key level. Yeah, 512.50 is holding. 512.50 is holding still. Keep your eyes peeled on 512.50. 512.50. I know what I think I'm about to do real quick. Do a little quick snag on that. I'm going to see. Keep my eyes peeled. Because, man, again, I wanted 510 as far as my calls, man. I just don't like buying up these high areas. When I see high, I start thinking about just puts. I don't even think about calls. I'll be like puts, man. Because I missed that area here. Just I'd rather pull back to my area so for a call opportunity. But right now, I'm like, yeah. I'm still trying to hold. Trying to go back up to that 512.50 range. 1220 SPY calls, right? Okay, so you want to call it 1220 and it ran up to 1260-ish. So it's 1260 range. So you got in at 1220. Okay, so you had a good little, okay, so it wasn't a bad run when you got in at. So if you got in at 1220, 51220, then you had a nice little run back on up this way then. So you had a good, what, 40 cent gainer? Okay, you trailed it. Okay, gotcha. I'm still keeping my eyes peeled because I'm trying to see how high this next setup is gonna be. If these, these bulls is trying to try to hold this area for possible pushback on up. So I'm keeping my eyes peeled around that level and that 50 level, 512.50 level. Keep my eyes on that too, 512.50. So you made $1. Okay. Well, shoot, you still made profit. Shout out to you, boss. That's why I say me, when I'm going in for calls, I wait on pullbacks. I would definitely wait on pullbacks around certain areas that make sense. See, I thought we was going to try, I was waiting on the pullback more closer towards that, towards the 512 range. You know, we came down here, then ran back on up, and then we getting a little pullback again. But it looked like the buys want to hold, especially if they hold above 512.50. If they hold 512.50, we got rejected, then you got room to continuously run. So right now, you're still looking good to run, as long as they keep holding these levels, because now the buys are in control for sure. It's just going to be a lot of up and down right now. But I still think they're pushing up towards that 513 level. So 512.60 is holding. Here we go. There we go. Now we pushing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's gonna be a lot up and down. It's going to be up and down, up and down, up and down. It's going to be up and down all over the freaking place. All right, so what do you got left? So next is going to be possibly to that 513 mark because it looks like they're trying to push the 514. So I'm going to definitely keep this on watch. You don't advise any entries around the 512.50 level? Yeah, 512.50 can hold. Like I said, 512.50, you do have a pullback down to 512.50. You can definitely run back on up towards those levels. I just don't. It just gets, I'll put it like this, low boy, it just gets tougher and tougher because especially your main area, once you get away from support, from VWAP, it gets tough. When you get overextended off of that 9, it gets a little tough. Because those the areas is what helps SPY move on up in the first place. Because VWAP helps SPY, your 9MA helps SPY. So normally when it shoots up by itself, without the 9, it only goes so far. So that's what I'm saying. Just keep your eyes on that. As long as that 9MA holds, you good. The 9MA is holds, but you are overextending off the VWAP, which again, as long as the 9MA holds, you good. You're starting still moving this way. The 9MA is moving closer towards the 512.50. So as long as that 9MA holds, you on the upside, you good. You definitely you good. Which it is holding. We are slowly moving up. But my areas, I like getting around VWAPs where it has room to run. But when you getting kind of in the air, man, it gets a little. Like I said, as long as that momentum keeps going, you good. It gets tougher for me at some points in times if I'm not finding good, comfortable areas. Because if you got in right here around the VWAP, the 9, the 20, all together, where you had super support, you was in a good area. But now you're just kind of floating in the air. And it gets a little bit tough. It gets a little tough to catch it. Because it's like, man, because you can go right back on down. And you got it. Don't forget about the pivot point, which is 512. Because you can always leave from 512 and also return back to 512. So that's another thing. That's why I was waiting on a pullback, but I was waiting for a pullback down here. And I never got it. So it does get a little tough. Shout out to y'all if y'all jumped in on it. But for me, it just gets a little tough to catch when it gets in that overextended mode. Man, I should have just jumped in right there, that breakout. I should have got it. But if y'all in it, ride it on up. As long as that momentum is still there, keep riding it. Cause let's see how high can this bad boy go. Cause where you had this high hit here, that was around 513.50. We had that hit in pre-market, 512.50. So you do have room to room to run back up to that level. Excuse me, 512.50 when you had this upper shadow. Excuse me, man, I got the hiccups like a month right now. So y'all getting this nice little move back on up towards that key area, 512, 513.50. As like I said, as long as the momentum now, ride it. I mean, you probably got good room to run before 12 o'clock here, before the that volume starts to die down. But as long as that momentum is there, ride it on up. Because you got volume kicking in. I mean, volume is moving. I mean, your indicators is, like I said, your candle on your 180 is green. I mean, everything's still looking good, looking positive. I mean, you got potential to run up to that 514 if the momentum is there. You know, how much room it has left in the tank, I mean, I can't tell you. As long as, I mean, you just got to go by the momentum. That's why I don't like buying in the air. It gets a little scary. When it gets higher and higher and higher like that, I kind of get a little iffy. Get a little bit iffy. If I'm not catching a VWAP, or something like that of that nature, I'm just, nah. I like to be in a safe area. It's kind of just floating in the air right now. All it's doing is going off of momentum. See what I mean? It's just going off of momentum right now. It gets a little tough. That's why I'm like, it's hard for an entry. It gets a little bit tougher and tougher. Let's say you decide to jump in at 512.50. Do you buy outside the money? I normally buy outside the money. It just depends on my. I look at my deltas. Like if my delta is and plus on what I can afford. So if you can afford inside the money, I mean, do so. If you can afford something outside the money, do so. It just depends on your account. And also look at your delta. So for my deltas, I'm looking at least a 20. Well, really 25 to 30. At least a 25 to 30 on my delta, and plus good volume. Volume, I'm looking at least 10,000, 15,000 in volume, at least 5 to 10 in open interest. As long as I got good volume, good delta, and I know that even my charts are looking healthy, and that's another way to go about it. But it does look it's starting to get a little iffy, just a little iffy right now. That's why I'm just kind of. That's why I haven't jumped in yet. Again, I would have caught the pullback, went on up. But right now, I'm starting to get into a little treacherous area that's coming up. And I'm just like, keep my eyes peeled on it. Just because even though it's getting a little weak, getting a little few upper shadows here and there. And that's why I'm like, just keep my eyes peeled. And the way I'm also looking at 512.50. It's back underneath 512.50 again. So keep your eyes peeled on that, which I might be going in for the opposite. Because 512.50 is getting a little weak, and we are hitting 512.50 all over again. Keep my eyes peeled on that, because 512.50 does look like a little strong area. I'm gonna keep it on watch though. I mean, you can bounce, but it's just a little tough for me right now. It just looks a little. Because now you're gonna channel right now. Yeah, I need to add a volume to my entry decision. Yeah, like okay, let me show you mine real quick, boss. So, like normally, okay, if I am picking something, I'm looking at my delta, I'm looking at my open interest, I'm looking at my volumes, I'm looking at my bids, I'm looking at my ask. I got the dates already set here, the 19, 20, calls, puts. So I'm always just trying to figure out a certain area around that, which one I'm going to go with. But, I just use it to look at. Yeah, that's normally what I do. I'll make it like I'll make a watch list, and I'll just have like certain contracts, and I just go from there. As long as my delta is holding up good, it's standing between the 20s to 30s. I know it's holding up well, cool. My volume is looking good, my open interest is looking good, and I go from there. And it's not just that too. Again, if you're going in on a call, say if you're going on an SPX call, 9 times out of 10, if you think about it, low bar. All it's gonna do is follow SPY's pattern setting, pretty much. So if you're seeing this here, 9 times out of 10, you're seeing this on SPX. So and all I'm doing is using SPY's contract, but I'm trading with SPX. So all I'm doing is watching my tops, watching my bottoms. I know my areas. I already know where my pivot point is, 512, which I know it can fall back down to 512, and that's all I'm doing. That's pretty much all I'm doing. I know it has room to fall back on down, which I can go for a pull back down to that key level. That's why I didn't go for a call just yet, because I'm like, it was looking a little too iffy. And then you get back underneath what it was, 512.50. 512.50, yep, you're underneath that mark. So that's indicating weakness. So you lost 512.60, you lost 512.50. Now it look like you are about to lose 512.40, which is just going down every 10 cents looking like. So I'm definitely just keeping it on watch, because it does look like you want to retract right back down to 512. Yeah, I mean, and that's the crazy part. And again, to say that I trade with SPX, I don't even use SPS chart. I use SPY's chart, but I trade with SPX because, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. They tied in together. So, boom, what I told you. So I told you it looked at weak. It was looking iffy. I ain't like that. I was like, look like you want to pull back. I told you, you leave from that pivot point, you're gonna return back to that pivot point. That's why I was telling y'all, be careful. I was telling y'all, that's why I was like, I don't like that. I didn't like that setup. I just had a feeling we were gonna start getting weak. I seen it. I didn't like it one bit. I was like, nah. I started seeing it get. It started letting go of 512.50. I was like, no go for me. In the trade today, action has been so far. I could definitely see a put opportunity back on down, boss. He said, I think that, hey man, Pineapple Express, my movie, AK-47. Yeah, to my trader. So, we do like we're getting some weakness, especially we stand underneath that 512.50, which you'll lose 50 cents back on down to 512. That'll put you back down to that pivot point, right back down this way, where you can start to actually rotate back down towards the 511, 510s. So all I'm trying to do really is, because we are starting to see some weakness in this area, I'm just keeping my eyes on this, because I'm looking at this is a 15-minute time frame. Normally what gives me confidence too is when I get that long candle, that long red candle, then you already know what comes after that. It's like that H pattern. So right now, it's still looking like it's still trying to hold, a certain point. It's still trying to hold, as you can see on this trend line. So I didn't go for a put yet, because it's still holding. I haven't got the confirmation yet where we get that big, massive bear candle, and then we'll get that, we get that little bounce, and then that H pattern to the next leg on down. So right now, it does look like everything is still trying to hold at the moment. So I haven't went in yet, not yet. I haven't got my confirmation just yet. I'm just waiting on it. And this is what I made to see how you get that confirmation candle, low bar, and who else asked me that? Torn trader. See how you get that confirmation candle? How you get that strong, massive red candle, and then that leads to like an H pattern when you bounce and you get that hump, and then you come back on down. So that's what I'll be anticipating. Especially if I'm looking for a put, I want that massive red candle. It gives me that confirmation, and then once that bounce come on up, I get in around that hump for that next leg on down. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just keeping my eyes peeled on it, just seeing what it's still holding up though, still holding up on that uptrend. So I'm just keeping on watch, Still uptrending in a sense. Yeah, patience is key. Exactly. Why do you think I sit back? I don't trade. I don't jump in. The area now this morning where I wanted to get in at, what I told everybody I wanted, was 510. I wanted to get in around 510, 510.50 for the run up to 512, because I was buying in around that uptrend in around a good support area where I could have ran on up and got out. But that move didn't happen until pre-market, and you already know with options, you can't do options in pre-market. That's the only thing that sucked about it, so it threw my plans all off. So now I can either wait for a pullback down, which I go for a put as it comes back down. I can look for a pullback down towards that 510 for either a double bottom, or if we do crack 510, we could go down to 508. But it looks like 510 is going to hold, because every time you do come down to this trend line, you bounce back on up. And the next area is 510. So it looks like 510 can hold. So if it does hold, I can look for a possible double bottom where 510 can hold for a move back on up. But it does. I just do see. I'm feel like this. I'm just leaning for a put right now. I'm just leaning on the put, because the area I wanted to get in on the buy, I missed it because of the pre-market. And now that we're getting higher and higher and higher, I will be looking for a put. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Because, and the reason why is because everything in the market here is in red. Everything is showing weakness. Look at it. AMD, Nvidia, Meta, Tesla, Google. Everything is in red other than Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon, which is what is holding up the market, because you got half of them going down, you got half of them going up. And you already know those companies make SPY move. So that's why you're not getting a complete drop on SPY just yet, because you still got Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon going up while the rest is going down. So it's making it kind of fluctuate. So that's why you're not getting a full drop just yet. SMCI. What did we fall at? What did I call off for SMCI? 800, huh? Didn't I? Where did we go at from it? I was looking at that too. I was also looking at for a potential 800 drop. Do I see? And I mean, this setup is just calling for, dude, if I can catch this for potential drop back on down to 800. Oh my good. Matter of fact, let me look at those contracts on SMCI too. Let me look at those for potential put that I might can take if everything sets itself up. Because this is a setup for just a nice drop. So let me see. Look at the overall pattern on this chart. Where do we see some bouncing? Around 800. So around 800. Yep, I definitely see 800. So if I can catch that move, let me see. Puts. Let me take a look. I know they're gonna be a little bit more expensive, and it's a little bit more. SPY popping. Where we at? SPY's what, 1275? Yeah, see, that's why I didn't want to go in for a put, because it was still holding on that uptrend. That's why I was like, man, if that holds, it's gonna go up to 514. That's why I was waiting. I said it's gonna go up to 514. Oh man. As long as that uptrend holds, you got that mark. Like I said, you go again. 512 is your pivot point. Pivot point to 514, back down to 510. Again, you hold 512, you got room to run up to 514. So as long as that pivot point hold, it's just that I was just not comfortable getting way up here because I just like getting around VWAP where we got good support, support base. If it gets higher and higher, it gets a little bit trickier and trickier. I mean, you can still get in. It just gets a little bit tough for me personally. Because I like getting around safe areas where I know it can hold and then run or drop, but when it just kind of floats. I mean, like I said, go for it. I ain't stopping y'all. I mean, go for it. I mean, as long as that momentum is still there, run that momentum on up. Because it's going up to 513, and then the next area would be 514. So I just wanted my nice pullback, man. I just didn't get my pullback. It's the only thing that sucked on that. I didn't get the pullback I actually wanted. I wanted to pull back all the way down, at least. Because I think the lowest we came down to was, 512.15. So I didn't get like the full 512 that I wanted. Because earlier I wanted 510. But that happened in pre-market. So I had to come up with a new game plan, which is 512. But we never came back all the way down to 512. So it is what it is. It just get trickier and trickier. It's like, man, come on, man. I mean, like I said, that bull flag, I said it was a bull flag setup. So the bull flag setup is holding. I mean, you good. I mean, if you got in. You got in around 512.50. I mean, ride it on up. Keep riding it. As long as that momentum holds, you good. Keep riding it. That trend line holds, you good. Keep pushing. Yeah, ride it on up. It's pushing. Don't get me wrong. Bad boy pushing. It's definitely pushing. I just didn't get the pullback I wanted, so I didn't chase it. So I was like, bump it. I wasn't going to worry about it. But don't forget about that 513.50 mark, boss. Y'all. 513.50. Do not forget about 513.50. Because that's that area where we hitting pre-market and those bears came in. So we need to break 513.50 for the run up to 514. So don't forget about 513.50 right here. Don't forget about it. You are pushing. You're on an up. You're uptrend. Still going on up. Just that I missed my man. Again, see what I mean on how powerful that 510 entry would have been for me? If this would have happened in pre-market, intraday instead of pre-market, I would have just been holding this whole entire time, riding this bad boy up. Now when I get into this, it makes it difficult. It's like, man, because it messes up my whole dang plans that I already had set. I hate that, man. The only area I'm gonna feel more comfortable with now is 512 itself. That's the only area I'm gonna feel comfortable with. I mean, because you're lining up 512, your VWAP is way back down here. I feel comfortable with that. But when it's way up here, I'm like, yeah. It's like I'd rather not. I'd rather just go ahead and let the ones who did get in, shout out to you, salute to you. Ride that bad boy. What we call it? Snakeskin Randy. Snakeskin ran to that bad boy, running on up. Who riding it? Who in on the call? Who in on the call? Soccer King, you still in on yours? Man, ride it, ride it. If you in it, ride it. Ride it all the way on up. Just remember, 513.50 is going to be an area of resistance. All right, little boy, shout out to you, boss. Just ride it on up. Like I said, you got 513.50 right here. We got that rejection at this morning in pre-market. Yeah, ride them. Oh, yeah, so, so you going Meta? Oh, Meta moving up. What's it? Meta's? I didn't even know Meta was moving. Is it? Oh, Meta is moving. Shout out to y'all. I wouldn't pay attention to Meta. I ain't gonna lie to you. So Meta's going back on up. Shout out to y'all. I mean, that's all. I mean, buyers are definitely in control on Meta. So shout out to y'all. Man, sometimes we get overwhelmed when we're looking at so many stocks. You're looking at that stock, this stock, that stock. So yeah, all right, here we go, team. Here we go. Ride it, ride it. See what's happening once we get to that 513.50. Keep it on watch. 513.50, 513.50. See if we break that key level, team. See if we break that key level, 513.50. You break 513.50, you got room to run up to 514. Boom. So keep it on watch. Keep it on watch from 513.50 to 514. Keep it on watch. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Because that is the area where those bears came in at, around that key area. Keep it on watch. Keep it on watch. Shout out to y'all, though. I ain't kill it. I just missed my area because the area I wanted was 510 in pre-market, and I couldn't get it because of options. I couldn't do it. So imagine if I would have got my entry, what I would have been sitting at on my entry, all the way just riding that bad boy up. But it messed me up. It's like dirty. Shoot, can't even curse right. Just dirty. Man. All right, right now you have 513.25. You still got 25 cents up to that 513.50. Again, you can either get ready to start the exit, or again, we do break for 513.50. We got that room to run up to 514. It's up to you, teams. It's up to y'all how y'all want to ride it. Just do know we have an area coming up around that 513.50. If we do break 513.50, you got room to run up to 514. Just keep it in mind. This area right here, don't forget about it. Keep it on watch. Keep it on watch. You stopped out, little boy. Wait. You stopped out? What you mean? I thought you was in the call, little boy. What you mean you stopped out? I thought you was riding it up. Oh, so you say stop. Oh, you say stopped out. You be thinking like you got squeezed out of like, yeah, you be catching me with those words. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what be catching me up. I'm like, stopped out. Like, how you got stopped out if you're going up? Say, normally you get stopped out if it's going down against you. Yeah, you threw me off with that one. Yeah, so again, just pay close attention. Around this 513.50 mark, you break this mark, you have room to run to 514. It looked like that's where it's trying to go to, 514. So calls are in control, team. Calls are in control. You're going to get a little pullback, of course. Keeps me in profit. Okay, I got you. So you don't do the mental. You go by, you go by the setups. I got you. See, I'm used to doing mental stop losses and mental profit taking and stuff. I'm just used to it now. Because once I get used to prices, I'm just used to it. That's just how I do it. No, well, it's not bad, low bar, as far as your mental stop losses. It's just knowing where you're getting in and knowing where you want to get out. So me personally, my mental entry and mental exit was getting in at 510 entry and getting out around 512 exit. So I already knew my mental for my entry and exits. Or 512 breaks, just keep riding it on up. I can ride it on up as long as it's away from my initial entry because you're safe. 510, I'm way down here, and then we all the way up here. I'm way more than good. I got way more than enough cushion to make a decision whether I want to get out or not. So, that's the main challenge. I already know with a lot of traders. The main challenge is the entries. I already know how it is. I've been there, done that. That's going to be your main focus is your entries. That's why you have to have again, depending on what stock you're with, know the personality. Know what levels can hold, especially if you're going in for a call. Okay, you're going to get some pullbacks down to the area, and you're going to also get some tests around the area where once you get in, it seems like it's going back down to your entry. Goes up, go back down to your entry, goes up, goes down to entry. But if you've done your research and knowing that level holds, yeah, you're going to get some pullbacks, but if you notice, it's pullback failures. It's not falling. So there's areas that'll be in. Oh, look, where we at? 513.20. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Going back up to that 513.50 team. 513.50 team. 513.50. Keep it on watch. Keep it on watch. So 513.50 to 514. Keep it on watch. Keep it on watch. If y'all want to take y'all profits at 513.50, you can do so. If you want to hold it all the way to 514, keep it on watch. You feel free to do so. It's up to you. It's your account. You know, just saying. It's your. I'm just trying to help you out. You know. So remember, we're on the channel. Pivot point, you're pivoting on up. You got room to move from 512 to 514. So you are pivoting up. So keep that on watch. All right, we're moving slowly still. 513. We're going up to 513. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I told y'all. I told you since this morning that bad boy looked like he wanted to go from red to green. I told you. I told you. It looked like he wanted to shift. You wanted to shift, get a little pullback, but your buys are still in control. Buys are still in control. Of course, you can get some little pullbacks. Little pullbacks. Here we go. Let's see if we break that down. Well, we're already above the downtrend on this one here. So let's see. You still got room to run. Still got room to run. So don't count it out yet. Your buys are still in control. So don't get scared out of your position. It's going to be a little bit of pullback here and there. A little bit of pullback here and there. Don't mind it. Don't mind it. As long as them buys are still in control, you're good to go. Ride that bad boy. I'm not even in. We said I'm not even on trade, but I'm sitting here like, why you didn't get in, Nuno? Only reason why I didn't get in because again, my entry was all the way down to 510, which I missed it, and I was like, I didn't want to chase it, so I was just waiting on the pullback down to 512, which I never got. Because after we broke out 512, I was waiting on the pullback. I never got it, so I just never chased it. I just never chased it. All right, getting a little pullback, Keep it on watch, keep it on watch. We did test close to that area though. How high did we go? That's why I told y'all to keep it on watch around this area where those bears are located up here. How high did we go? 5. So it was like 7 cents off from that mark. What was this? High was what? 513.45. So we went as high as 513.43. So yep, we did get rejected right back at that same area. Right back at that same area. That's why I told y'all, don't never forget about pre-markets movement because that can also come back into play once you're in intraday. So that's why I told y'all to keep your eyes on this mark here. Because when I see when those sellers are stepping in at, those bears, that's why I was telling y'all to be careful because they're trying to step in that same key area. Same area. So keep it on watch, You still got room to run to 514. Don't get me wrong. You still got room. So, but you are going to get some pullbacks because your bears are sitting right here at this key level. So you're going to get some pullbacks. You're going to get some tug of wars back and forth. But you are still on the upside. You're still on the uptrend. We have not fell off yet. It's going to be some areas where bears, you're going to get those failure pullbacks. But majority of your volume is pretty much bulls. You can see that. Green. You can see that on your candles. You can see that on your volumes. So even though you're getting these pullbacks, your buyers are still in control at this time. So yeah, you're going to get some pullbacks here and there, but buyers are still in control. Because I guarantee you, them sellers not going to, it's just the thought of how many sellers are really, really still willing to try to jump in, knowing that buying momentum is going up. So, which is why you're not going to see a massive candle yet. As far as like a massive red candle, that's why you're going to see like small red candles because you still have so much more buying power than you have selling power. So if you notice, you see how you get these little pullbacks, but it's not massive? You're getting like small red candles because the sellers has not overpowered the buyers yet still. Yeah, you're getting pullbacks, and you got to think about people that's selling. So it's not just sellers that's jumping in trying to pull the stock down. That is buyers who probably got in at low areas who are selling their positions. So you got to think about that too, team. That's another thing. So it's not just, the buyers sellers are sitting up here, they coming to pummel it down. You got to think about buyers who already been in, who probably already been in since the 511s, 512s, who are riding on up and selling their position and getting on out. So you got to think about that. So we still got room to run because you look at these, small red candles is still not giving no indication that we're reversing right now still showing that we're still on the bullish side. We still have room to run back on up. So again, green with small red candles. Look at that. You still have way more buying power than you have selling power. So we still got room to run. So definitely keep that on watch. Keep it on watch. Because I'm trying to help y'all through it so y'all don't get scared out of y'all position. It's just, of course, we're going to have selling because people are selling their positions. They're getting out of it. But then you're going to have new buys moving back in, which is going to add to the buying pressure. Just keep that on watch. Just see how we go. So the main focus is to get back above. We want to break above 513.50 for the run up to 514. So just keep it on watch. Keep it on watch. So we still got room to run. So still no clear signs of reversal just yet. So just keep it on watch. Just keep it on watch. Keep it on watch. So everything's still looking good. So I don't see no clear signs of reversal candle just yet. Keep it on watch. Yeah, 514, boss. Yep, exactly. 514. See, got a bull flag set up. Don't get scared out of your position. Let that bad boy run. Let it run. Let it run. Gonna have some room to run. You gotta break 513.50. You break 513.50. You are only 50 cents away from 514. That is the initial target. 514. Is that trading therapy? I mean, if it works for you, I mean, if it works for you, I'm just trying to keep you cool and calm. I mean, I could do like a trade love session. You know, I have my glasses on. You know, I have some candle lights. And I put on the bare white voice. You know, talk deep. You know, to kind of soothe y'all a little bit. You know, yeah, baby, yeah, we right coming on down to 513. Oh yeah. And then once you hit that 513, we're going to slowly make love back on up to that 513.50 where we're going to caress it just a little bit. Make her feel real nice. Make her feel good, you know. And then after that, we're going to send her home and we're going to move back on to the next one. I quit. Oh, man. Oh, he said, ooh. I mean, hey, if you want to speak in love language with me, we can do that with the stocks to make y'all feel at ease. I mean, hey, I'm just saying, you know. You know, you got to show love to that, 530. You got to show love to 513, man. Give her a little bit of love, cuddle with her just a little bit, send on her way, make sure she get home safe. And then once, you do right by her, then you move up to the 513.50, do the same thing, a little candlelight dinner, make, the kiss on the cheek, just make her feel special, make her feel wanted, and then once you finish with her, make sure she feels like a queen, send her way. Okay, now we're going up to 514. She's going to be a little bit more aggressive, and just got to know how to talk to her. I don't know, man. Oh, man. Right now, boss, right now we are holding underneath that 513.50, but we still, we still haven't got a confirmation candle. Because you still have way more massive green candles than you have massive red candles. So if you notice, every time we have pullbacks, look at the size of the candles. This is even on the 3-minute. It's not massive. See, you get these little small red candles, then they go back up. Small red candles. Look at the size of your red candles versus your green candles. So if anything, I would want confirmation from a big bearish red candle to be like, we done, we coming on down, But right now, let me see where we at right now. We're starting to get a pullback. We're starting getting up a shadow. Because again, you want to get that confirmation. You want to get that confirmation of not getting caught in a bull trap, of getting caught in a bear trap. So it's still up and down, We haven't got like a massive red candle where those, kind of like here, boss, where you got that like this sell off, where you just got, you got candle after candle after candle, or you get a long red candle where the bears are actually moving in at. It's like they slowly moving in, but it's like not massive. It's kind of like they channeling right now. It's channeling between, 513 to 512. It's slowly coming back down. And the reason why 2 years, you are getting overextension. You are getting overextension off that 9, but that 9 EMA is slowly moving up this way too. It's not like the 9 EMA started to curl. Because when you start to get that massive pullback, Cisco and Jenna, when that 9 EMA starts to do this, when that 9 EMA starts to curl and go down, and then that's when you get that massive sell-off. So right now it's starting to slowly go straight, but it's like I'm trying to look at it where you can like bounce on top of it. Because I still think the bulls are still in control right now. Because even though we're getting this little pullback, I still think it's still bullish. All right, now we're starting to get a stronger move. All right, here we go. Let me see. Just keep it on watch. Because look on the 15. Look on the 15-minute time frame too. So that's why I'm trying to make sure that everything just matches up. To make sure it's not a bear trap setup. Because I don't want y'all jumping in for a put y'all get a bear trap. Like I said, me and Deck was calling out 514. My target was 514. Personally. That's what I want. I want 514. Because 514 is a top. I mean, think about it, Jenna, and Cisco and them, and also Torn Trader. If y'all think about it, what is the main areas that we always focus on? We always mainly focus on even numbers, right? We focus on 510, 512, 514 because we know that those particular numbers mean something to the market. So that's why me personally, I would want 514 if I am going to go for a put. So I would want to go higher to the area I know that makes more sense, and that'll be around 514. So yeah, it's going to get some little pullbacks here and there, but this can also, again, until we get a full confirmation, a full bear candle saying that we are reversing, this could be just bad trap after bad trap after bad trap after bad trap until we get to 514. You got to think about it like that. Because this can be bad. See what I mean? This can be bad traps. That's what I'm telling you. Like, just wait off. Wait till you get to 514. That'll get to a number that makes sense. Basically, that's all I'm saying. Wait for it to get up to 514. Wait for it to get up to 514 and see how it reacts. See on if we do break out or we get stuck and we start to return back on down. Because, again, you have to look at it from a channel standpoint. 510, 512, 514. What is your pivot point? 512. You already know once you leave from 512, 9 times out of 10, you're going to return back to 512. So let it go up as high as it can. We know 514 is an important number. Cisco, Jenna, and Torn Trader. Why is that? Because you remember, 2 weeks ago, 514 was that old Monday's high. Y'all remember that? If we go back, let's go back. 514, red line. Look, let's go back. Let's go back. Monday, what Monday was that? When we hit 514 a long time ago? Like 2 weeks ago? Boom. What was that? 514. So just wait until we get up to that level to see if we get another rejection. And that was data for the 4th. So remember that. Because you remember that week, Monday's tone was 514 and Friday's standard was at 518. So just wait until we get towards that line. You know? Just wait as we get towards 514. So just wait. Let it go. Let it run. Let it run. Let it run. Do I gotta do Dr. Love again? You know, do I gotta soothe y'all, you know? I mean, you know, I told you. You make love to 513, treat her right. Okay, you move up to the next. You know. But nah, let it run up to 514, man. Like just be patient. This is where your patience comes in at. Let it run up to 514. Because we know our levels. We know our price levels. We done talked about this. 514. Because you already know what's that channel that it's trying to get into, right? 514, 518, 514, 516, 518, right? That's the bottom of that channel. So we want to see on how 514 is going to react. Now, if we break 514 and hold 514, yeah, we can focus on the next channel because now we have to move our pivot up. Now we have to move the pivot up to 514. Right now, that pivot is still considered at 512 until you break 514 and go up to a higher level. As of now, the only thing you can do is look at it as a channel still. 510, 512, 514. 514 is your top, 512 is your mid, 510 is your bottom. Because anything can happen as it hit 514. Can it break out? Yes, it can break out. Can it get rejected? Yes, it can get rejected. And if it get rejected, 9 times out of 10, where's it going to return right back down to? 512. So, depending on, like I said, keep your eyes peeled here. To see if we see those bears come in to stay stuck underneath 514. All right, we can see a reversal back on down to 512, which is pretty much a $2 profit. So from 514 to 512 is a $2 profit on the put side. If you would have got in at 512 to 514 on the upside, you'd have made $2 up, $2 down. So our main focus and our main price point that we want to see is 514. 514. Okay, what about we don't go up to 514? Okay, wait for confirmation to say that, okay, because it's going to test more than one time. Say for instance, we do just the furthest we go up is 513, 50. Okay, once it hit one time, wait on confirmation because 9 times out of 10 it's going to go right back up and retest 513, 50 again. Because you're always going to get more than one test where it tries to go back up to that key level and then get a nice reversal on down. Because I just don't want y'all getting caught in a bad trap right now. I don't want y'all jumping in just yet. So, I say me personally, that's me thinking for myself. I will wait for 514 if I'm going in for a put. Why? Because it has past history of getting rejected and coming on down. We've seen it before. So personally, I will wait for 514. And if you don't get it, excuse my language, funk it. So therefore you save not getting into an area. All right, just wait for confirmation towards another key level. So again, at 513, 513.50 is the resistance mark before it hit 514. Wait on confirmation. Wait for it to hit, come down. It's gonna test again, and then come down again because it's showing that that level cannot be broken. Just watch. All you gotta do is keep your eyes on certain levels that can't be broken. Where you test, you hit, you test, hit, fall back on down. See how you tested more than once? Once, twice, three, fall. Boom. See that? That's it. Wait for the setups. Because I don't want y'all jumping in too early and getting caught on a bad trap. And the reason why, because you have room to run to 514. I mean, you can clearly see it even on this chart here. You have room off that yellow line to run up to where? 514. I don't want you getting caught up in a bear trap. So, don't go in for a put so soon. It has room to run up to 514. So definitely keep that on watch. And that deck just stated, look, he just said it. High day 514.20. Target, he said, I'm looking before the afternoon puts. And again, you have to understand 514 holds a very important key in the market because we have hidden that before 2 Mondays ago where we got rejected at 514. Because you remember, before we went on that 518 break, remember, we hit 514. We came on down. We U-shaped. We didn't hit it Tuesday. We didn't hit it Wednesday. When did we break it? That Thursday going into Friday. Thursday led from a squeeze from the 514s to the 516s. And on Thursday to Friday, it went from 516 to 518, which was where we hit our tops. And it came back on down. So, yeah. So 514 will play a major key. So definitely keep that on watch because now that we're underneath it, it can definitely hold as resistance.
Deck calling afternoon puts. We have 20-year auction data at 1 o'clock too.
Yeah, appreciate you, boss. Thank you so much. But yeah, keep your eyes on 514 because 514 plays a major role. Will we get a break above it a little bit? Yeah, that's gonna happen. Of course, you're always gonna get a few cents above, which like Deck mentioned, 520. I'm sorry, 514.20, because I think that's what we did when we hit 518 at one point. When we hit 518, I think the high was like 518.22. So my thing is, yeah, you're gonna get a few cents above it, but the main focus is that main number, which is 514. So keep that on watch. Again, we could start turning, but I still think that we still have a little bit left in the tank for us to run up towards that area. So I still think we got room to run. So we're going to get a little pullback here and there because you got to think about people that done got in, already that bought in early, that's selling their positions. You might have some puts moving in, of course, but then you're going to have buyers that's selling their position. So same vice versa, like when you have puts that's getting squeezed out of their positions at the bottom and they have to buy the cover, what is that doing? Adding to the buying pressure when you move back on up. So vice versa just for sales. When you're selling your position, you're adding pressure to the selling momentum for it to go back down. But that's you getting out of your position, not trying to short it. But yeah, so I still think you got a little bit of room left. I mean, even though we're getting this little pullback, I still think we got a little bit left. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because as long as you're above 512, anything goes. As long as you're above that main pivot point, you got room to run way up here. It's only when you come back down to 512 and you crack 512 that's when it's over. Because now you're back under the pivot point for that push back down. Been waiting on board. Oh man, shout out to you, boss, and I wish you the best, man, and I pray you have a safe flight too, boss. Safe flight to you, man, and I pray that you make it to your destination. We'll keep you in prayer. I got you, boss. So yeah, and that's the only reason why I'm still sticking to calls right now, because you gotta think about it. We are on an uptrend still. Uptrend hasn't broken. We're above 512. With room to still run up to 514. I mean, think about it. Look how far we came and we still holding up. Green candles are still in effect with some small red candles. Yeah, it look massive on the 3-minute. It does look massive. It looks hella massive. But look at it on the 15-minute. Look how small those red candles. Look how small those candles are. Look. Compared to all the green candles. You see that? So who you think is in control still? The buyers are still in control. Until we see a massive red candle that give us that confirmation that, all right, we taking over, the bears are coming in, then yeah. But right now, all I see is a nice green candle, nice green candle, nice green candle, nice green candle, small red candle, small red candle. So I still see that the buyers are still in control because they're giving a confirmation that they're in control because of the candles, the health, the volume and everything. But again, all I see is small red candles. That's not a confirmation to me. I don't see a massive red candle with bears are moving in yet. I don't see that yet. So that's another reason why I'm not jumping the gun just yet. I don't see a massive red candle giving me confirmation to be like, okay, we reversing now. Let's go in for puts. I don't have it yet. This area still has room to run up to this 514 again until I see a shift. Where I see bears actually coming in where we seeing massive red candles or one big red candle, which we just seen time and time again. Right now, do you see this going this way? No. You see up, 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 up. You see an uptrend still holding. You see the market still holding above 512. You see that we still have room to run up to 514. So you still have to think on the positive side until we get notification and confirmation that we are reversing on down.
Stream Elements says,
Shut up, Stream Elements.
enjoying the content? Show your...
All right, cool. But yeah, guys, I'm assuming be heading out soon. I got about 3 minutes with y'all because you remember I told you I was only gonna stay to 12 because I'm going to visit my grandparents. So I'd be leaving y'all early, but I gotta value the time that I do have with them. Make sure that I see them, they see my face because life is short. Time was for nobody, and tomorrow's not promised to us. So definitely got to do that. So, but yeah, I got 3 minutes with y'all guys. Yeah, if y'all have any questions, comments, concerns, I will be here to answer any questions. Till then, yeah, thank you so much, Queen. But I will be here tomorrow all the way through, all the way to the FOMC meeting. We'll have the YouTube videos up and everything. So let me go ahead and say what we need to look out for tomorrow before we do roll on out. Where's my chart for today? What did I do with it? I make so many dang charts. Oh, good God. Where is it at? Oh, which one I want to use? Was it the UC chart I want to use? Oh, crap. Yeah, I think I did. Let me go back. That's why I was on Patreon. I mean, on my Patreon account. That's why I was like, what the hell? I can't find nothing. Discussion. Here we go. There we go. All right, cool. Thanks so much, boss. Thanks so much. And I will begin with you about the Patreon video, Jerhoff. Because like I said, the reason why I had stopped, because I thought you had wanted me to go over a specific ticker, which is why I was going to set up for that. But, now that I see, I think that you more into SPY, which we're on the same page. We'll just go over that. We'll just do lessons on SPY. I just thought you wanted a specific company, which is why I was trying to set that up. But seemed like a SPY guy, so I guess we'll just focus on SPY then. So as far as tomorrow, team, we will be anticipating the FOMC meeting, which will be starting off at 2 o'clock with Jerome Powell speaking at 2:30. So that we will be in anticipation for that. That's the main things to look out for tomorrow. And then we'll go over everything else the following day because I don't want to put too much information in your ear. But for tomorrow, FOMC meeting, definitely keep on watch. And also keep your eyes peeled because I still think we got room to run up to 514. So don't count that out until you get back underneath 512. So as long as you're above 512, definitely just keep this on watch for the room back on up. Don't get caught in a squeeze and don't get caught in a bad trap, please. Wait for it to run up to the areas that means the most, which is 514. And I don't know how many times I can express that and explain that. Wait till 514. Do not jump in early. Wait for confirmation. Wait on it. And y'all know what the confirmation is. We go through this over and over and over. What do we normally get with confirmation on the bear side? We either get a nice red candle, and then what do we do from there? Go on an H pattern on down. We didn't got a confirmation. Do you see a confirmation right here? No. Don't jump in. Wait for the setups. Wait. Right now, everything is still bullish. Do not jump in on the put just yet. Wait for the push up towards 514. If it don't go up to 514, and again, it does go to, say, for instance, 513, then wait for the confirmation. Wait for it to go to 513, get rejected, try to retest again, get rejected, and for those bears to actually move in and come in heavy. Other than that, I don't see no massive pullbacks just yet. I see small red candles versus the big green candles that are still moving for the upside. Don't get caught in it. We'll just keep on watch. Just wait till we get confirmation. Don't get caught in these little possible bear traps where it look like it's red, but then it turns green and then go back up this way. Just be patient. Patience is key. We go over this all the time, team. Again, I want to see you guys win. So with that being said, let me get myself set up so we can head into the lobby. So let's go into that. Let's head to the lobby right now. Let's go. We back. Oh, guys, and I'm almost finished with the break room and stuff. So we're gonna be having that soon. So I might be having it next week because I wanted to make sure I added some stuff in there. I mean, I'm still adding it because it's still new. So by next week, we should be having our lobby for 12 o'clock, so we can have our little break room to chill in, our little virtual lobby. So we should be good. So I'm still designing it, still trying to add some little bits and pieces to it, to make it our own. So give your boys some time. I got this. I got you. But yeah, Cisco and all y'all definitely, like I said, just keep this on watch, boss, because I still think that we have room. I'm looking at the chart now. Y'all can't see my chart, but I still think we have room to run up because as I'm looking at it, to 514. I still think because we're still on the bullish side. Everything is still trending up. So just keep on watch until you get confirmation. Wait till we get those big candles coming in, those massive candles where we can see that H pattern for that next leg going down. Wait till we get confirmation. But right now, all I see is green candle, green candle. All I see is an uptrend at this moment. So definitely keep your eyes peeled on that. Don't jump in too early. Just wait. And again, I told you, 514 is definitely an important level. So keep your eyes on 514 and see on how it reacts. Wait for 514. Keywords, 514. Shout out to everybody who has traded, man. I'm proud of y'all. You waited for the right setups. You're starting to understand your patterns now, your entries. You're starting to get a little bit more confidence in your entries and your exits. I am so proud of y'all, man, because not only do I help y'all help me, because y'all help me become the trader I am, and y'all make me go even harder. So even at night, I'm going over my charts. Dude, I'm not lying to y'all. I'll be up like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, still going over setups. Shout out to you, Trent. Yeah, going over setups to make sure that y'all have the right information, to make sure I'm putting y'all in the right direction. So, which is why I was trying to tell y'all, don't jump in puts just yet. Be patient and wait it out. Wait to get up to 514, because if we're looking at it from a channel standpoint, from 512, what's the next level? 514. You get rejected from 514, what's the next level down? 512. Be patient. But let me go ahead and give a shout out to my team before I roll on out. Let me see. Jade, you still watch the market even when you're not? Yeah, I still watch the market, dude. Trade life. When I say I'm so obsessed with the stock market that I hate the weekends, that's how sad that's how bad it is. Like, I'm so obsessed with the stock market because I love what I do. It's my job. But I love so much what I do that I hate weekends. Like, I be wanting the weekends to be so over, so Mondays can roll right back on in. And another thing that irks my nerve is them damn holidays. Like, I be wanting to trade Monday through Friday, but when I be looking at that chart, the economic thing, and I see, holidays, no trading day. Boy, I get so aggravated. I get so pissed. But that's how I'm so committed to what I do. I love what I do because I do the best that I can to give y'all the best information. I try to keep y'all on the right path. Because I could have, think about it. If I didn't know what I was talking about, y'all know this, I could have easily said, man, go for a put right now. Go. And y'all getting in, and all of a sudden the market's still going up. Now y'all getting squeezed out of y'all position. What did I do? I simply said, do not get in on the put. I said, wait it out. Wait for the move up to 514 or close to that area. So again, that lets you know the amount of work that I put in and the amount of focus and dedication I put in towards my charts, my prices, everything to give y'all the correct information. So again, I mean everything that I've been saying, I've been on spot on. If y'all think about it. So we're gonna keep it rocking and rolling. But I'm soon about to go team. I know I've been ranting on. I do apologize. But yeah, let me go ahead and give a shout out to Trade Life, J24, Gangradane, G Money, Soccer King. I think that was that side for my YouTube. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to my Trade Life family. Nuno, Trend Detector, Cisco, Lowbar. Who else do I got? Joe Herf, Chart and Queen, of course, Sean. Shout out to you, boss. Jenna. Who else do I got in the building? Torn Trader. I think I said you already. AK-47. Shout out to you as always, boss. Always a pleasure. Hoop. Shout out to you. Stay balling. You know what you do. Marty, shout out to you, boss. Just going up the line to make sure I got everybody. Nate Trey, shout out to you too, boss. Shout out to you. Just going down the list. Just make sure I got it. Got it. I think that is it, huh? Today's the 19th, right? All right, Nuno. The Champ, shout out to you, Champ. Gert, shout out to you as always. Always a pleasure, boss. And I think that is it. AR Trades, I remember he came in. Shout out to you, AR. But I think that's it. And Forbes, Cosmic. think that's it. All right, yeah, we done for today. So, but yeah, team, definitely be on lookout for tomorrow, and we are still pushing. As I can see on my charts, we have 5:30 at 5:13:30. Again, you're only 70 cents away from 5:14. Keep your eyes focused on that particular price point, 5:14. I mean, will we get a little bit of movement above it, like Deck has said, around 5:14:20? That's possible, but I'm looking towards the main, which is 5:14. So 70 cents away from that mark. Be patient. Let everything fall into place and become a great trader, man. You already know what I'm about to say before I roll out. Maximize your reward, minimize your risk. Always put grateful over greed, and you will succeed every single time, team. Till then, I will see you tomorrow on Wild Card Wednesday, where we get it knocking off for the FOMC meeting. Y'all stay blessed, team. Have a blessed night. Let's keep making this money. Peace.